Guess who made it today? It's me. Yeah, I had every intention of being here yesterday. I said, let me just take a nap. And because it's been so hot, I have not been sleeping. So I said, oh God, I need a nap. Slept through the alarm, woke up, it was like 9:30. I had almost a full night's sleep from that nap. So but today I took a very short nap and I made myself get up. So there you go. So now I'm back in pocket and we are going to head into advice question land. Hello, Cookie Face, with our usual 25 questions. For those of you who do not know, this show is, I doubt it, Cookie Face, but we'll see. It will happen eventually, but I don't know. I've just been too tired. This show, people send in their questions in advance. They're selected from, whatever the emails are for that week or the week, 2-week period, whatever. My cousin goes through and she picks some, puts them in a document. I read the questions. I answer the questions. So there's no rehearsal, no advanced notification, no nothing. Everything that you hear that comes out of my mouth is off the cuff. Sometimes I have to admit, even I think, wow, what'd you say that for? But, it is what it is. That's part of the charm of this show. Okay. Oh, no. Last week I got a respite from giggles. I had a respite. No such luck. All right, let's get going here. Question number 1. This is a female in the 18 to 21. We got 25 questions as usual. Female 18 to 21. She's from Garland, Texas. Oh, I went there once. Summer issue. My boyfriend has no manners and is making me question our relationship as it's a big thing for me. How can I approach this and discuss this with him without him being defensive? For context, me and my boyfriend have been together for around 11 months now and have little to no problems but this. I'm 18, he's 19, and I love him more than anything, but I've recently come to notice his table manners and it's really bothering me and putting me off quite a lot. It's even been brought up by my family when he's eating at our house, and they don't enjoy meals when he's with us as it puts them off their food. Oh my God, what is this guy doing? I know some families haven't brought up their children to have loads of manners, but I've always been taught these and have been told off if I didn't follow them. I mentioned it to him before, and he's always come back with saying that he does have manners and doesn't understand where I'm coming from. Here are just a few examples of what he does. When we're at the table at my house eating, he doesn't wait for everyone else to sit down before he starts eating. The food could be on the table, but we are still putting plates out and laying the table, and he has already started eating the food. Well, did you ever tell him that that's the culture in your family so he knows? Sometimes you have to tell people these things because some other families do it that way. When we're out in a restaurant, he has his elbows on the table as he eats. This may seem a little, and maybe it's just something I've been taught to do. Yeah, it's considered uncouth, but a lot of people do it. If someone else is paying for food, he takes advantage of it and orders a lot or some expensive food. My mom and I's sister invited us out to breakfast with them, and my mom was paying. He knew this, and he ordered the most expensive food on the menu and a crazy expensive drink as well. It wasn't loads of money, but it's the principle of if someone else is paying, you don't get something extra expensive. I mentioned this to him before he ordered, and he said that he really wanted this food, so he was going to get it. When holding forks and knives, I have always been taught not to shovel my food using the fork with the prongs facing downward with my food and tear apart my food. He seems to use his fork as a spoon and doesn't use his knife to cut the food up. When there's food and dishes on the table, he uses the fork he's eating from to grab more food to put on his plate. Oh, hell no. Now, see, that's when you guys should have spoke up. There's always serving spoons in the dishes, and this really puts people off from eating the food from that dish after he's done that. This is just a little list of what he's done, but there's so much more. It's just really embarrassing inviting him around mine or my family's houses for meals, as someone always makes a joke to me that he has no manners or mentions that it's a little disgusting. I like to say something to him, but I don't know if I'm overreacting, and I'm not sure how to even approach this again without him becoming defensive. You let him become defensive. That's just gross. Okay, first of all, some of that stuff is, I don't know, because you know how guys will put their forearm across the table and then they'll eat. A lot of people, a lot of men do that, and I mean, because it's not a formal situation, right? They're just at family dinner, whatever that's how they eat. They eat like that at home, they eat like that at your house. Um, is it considered the most polite thing to do? No, but it's on the edge. I wouldn't really nitpick about that part. The part that's driving me crazy is him using something that's been in his mouth to put it back into a community dish. Now that's where I draw the line. Now that is when you're supposed to say, hey, 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 we got serving spoons over there. Don't put the stuff that you had in your mouth back in the pan where everybody else has to eat it. Nobody else is kissing you in here but me. They're not trying to get your germs. Something like that. And don't do it right there and there, but do it later. Tell him that and say, don't do that again. That grosses everybody out. It's like your saliva, it belongs in your mouth, maybe mine, but that's the only place, not in the food that everybody else has to eat. That's gross. Okay, you just tell him like that, and he's gonna be like, oh well, I didn't think anything. We do. He's whatever he's gonna say that's okay. You say no, it's not. And if you want to eat like that, you won't get invited back because people think people are grossed out. Okay, that's unsanitary. That's not how you do things. He's probably that kind that when he's cooking, he uses the cooking spoon to taste the food and then put it back in the pot. I knew people like that. You know what? I don't eat their food. That's just gross. You know what? You have a tasting spoon. Explore something out. You put in a tasting spoon. You put that in your mouth. You put that down. You use the cooking spoon to cook. Okay, use the tasting spoon to taste. You don't mix the two together. That's gross. Spread your funky mouth disease on people, hoof and mouth disease to other people. Yeah, well, he's only 19. You know what I mean? So there's time for him to, teen. I mean, he's still technically, I mean, I consider, and if it says teen, they're still a kid. I don't care what the law says. But um, this is the kind of thing you're going to have to say, look, when there's certain things that you do at the table, the main one is this one is grossing people out. You have to stop doing that. Eating with your elbows on the table and, whatever else you said, he just said, those things are kind of irritating, but they're not critical. The other thing you don't do is if we're still putting out dishes and stuff, you don't start eating until everybody's seated at the table. I don't know if you guys are the kind of family that does blessings and all that kind of stuff. But if you are, then you tell them after everybody's sitting and we do the table blessing, then you can start eating. Other than that, don't ever do that. That's so rude. You tell him. You have to tell him. And here he might be a little defensive, but you know what? It may be something as simple as no one has ever told him that. Do you think your average dude is gonna go on the line looking up, table etiquette? Do you really think that? These are the kind of things I'm saying. And plus, we don't know what his family history is. I mean, was this kid raised in a family or was raised in a foster home where it was fend for yourself? That might be why he started eating because the food was there. He wanted to make sure he gets some. There's a lot of things that lead up to people's behaviors. I don't want to just condemn him across the board without knowing his story. But at 19, he's plenty old enough to start learning. And this is especially going to be important after he gets out of school and starts, getting invited to coworkers' places and weddings and stuff like that. I mean, you have to know how to present yourself in a way that's not going to be ultimately humiliating and having people at your job or in your social circle, whatever, laughing at you. That's not going to be a good look. So the time for you to speak up is now. And if you have to, there's probably some websites that have, table managers or something. You could print something out and just throw it at them. They read this. You stop eating like a damn savage. Girl, giggles. And this is day in Garland, Texas. I was in Houston. So I'm like, is this Houston man? Because that was the same thing. Dude was like, he's also the one that ate the shrimp with the shells on with the little legs and stuff, the little legs. He just popped the whole thing in his mouth and then he pulled out the tail part. And I'm sitting there because you're supposed to peel the shrimp. You don't eat the shells. But honey, he ate everything. I was like, oh, is that what we doing? So I never went out with him anymore. That was just, it does enough for me. Yeah, exactly. It's time for him to learn. But see, like I said, like if he was in foster care, he just got out last year. So, and they don't really tend to teach you those kinds of things. It's like they just, they put a roof over your head and food in your stomach and make sure you got clothes on your back and go to school and stuff like that. But as far as like the finer nuances of society, foster parents don't tend to teach those kind of things. So, it's something to think about, But that's why I'm kind of put all these scenarios in her head so that she can think about his history, where he might have picked these bad habits up. And if she wants to stay with you, she says she loves him to death and all this stuff here. But then, and you want to be around your family, you better tell him. Question number 2. This is a male in the 22 to 27 age group from a place called Strongsville, Ohio. Some issue. I am re-entering the dating game after my last relationship. What should I do with the things that my ex-girlfriend bought me? My ex-girlfriend and I broke up several months ago after having been together for about 2 years. Over the course of our relationship, she bought me quite a few things, such as a necklace, cologne, and some household items. I don't hold any sentimental value to these things, but I do like to wear the necklace with certain outfits, and the cologne is really nice. As I re-entered the dating game, I could see how some people may not like the idea of me keeping items from my ex, and I don't see myself lying about where I got them if brought up. I'm wondering how the ladies listening would feel about your new partner keeping items like this from his past. Do you ladies think I should keep them, or should I get rid of them if I get in another relationship? I think that, just like you broke up here, the same shit could happen. Should you suffer by giving away a gift that you like and some cologne that you like for some new broad that may not be around 2 weeks from now? The answer to that question is no. Do you say you don't want to lie? I suggest you do. Why do you think somebody would need to know that? See, we're back to people asking questions that they don't really have any business asking. I mean, you assuming somebody's gonna be like, "Oh, that's a nice cologne. Who bought you that?" When somebody does something like that, you're supposed to say, "Why is that your business?" Whether it's my mother or my grandmother or an ex, what difference does it make to you? It's gonna be the same shit as mine. So that's all you need to worry about is my cologne. And so you getting back into the dating game, don't be treating these women like they're your partners by spilling your guts and telling every goddamn thing. That's not how you operate as a single man. You play your cards close to your vest. I tell women the same thing. Stop fucking talking so much. They don't need to know where you got your stuff. Okay? You just don't tell them. Don't bring it up and they probably won't ask. But here you go trying to think of some shit to create drama. Because you acting like everybody's your girlfriend, they're going to be questioning you. All you have to do is, if some broad asks you such a question like that, just say, why is that your business? Or why would you want to know that? Either way, then you don't answer her. Okay, this is the beginning of you getting some game because you're going to need something because I can see you going to get yourself in a situation. They're going to ask a stupid question and you just answer with that. And then when they say, well, I just wanted to know, you just say, mm-hmm. And then you don't answer them. That is the typical, I'm giving you my particular way of addressing those kinds of things. It's probably hundreds of men out here wanting to know stuff that I just was like, oh, well, why do you need to know that? And then they just be like, well, because I'm like, oh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, did you know such and such? And I start changing something, talking about something else. That's how you have to do people. And people with intelligence will understand that means you're not going to get an answer to that question because that ain't your business. Okay? You don't have to answer everybody's question and certainly don't have to answer them truthfully. These women are not your girlfriend and they're not your wife and they don't deserve to know all that level of your business. Okay, do I make myself clear? Question number 3. This is a male in the 56 to 62 age group. He's Caucasian from Quebec City, Canada. Summary of issue. What is the least unkind way to convey that I'm not interested to women? Hello, Deb and ladies of the squad. Thank you, Candace, for choosing my letter. I am recently divorced 56-year-old father of 2 older teenagers who's out and about. I'm trying to meet people organically, mainly looking to make new friends, and why not more if I find the right person. Haven't been out of the game since my early 30s. I'm not really sure how to best handle this and would appreciate some advice from women who have probably been on the receiving end of this at some point. During a recent evening, sort of a meetup, a much younger woman, I guess she's in her 30s maybe, who came to the group thing with an older guy, took pains to tell me that he is, quote, just her friend. She is recently divorced, very much single, has no children, was very smiley and flirty, and was wearing a very deep, plunging neckline, which at the least suggests the possibility that she's trying to attract male attention. And then she asked for my number. She has now texted me, not with any concrete proposal to meet, but it felt like a first step to, quote, stay connected. The thing is, aside from the fact that I'm way too old for her anyway, and also at a different life stage, I found this particular woman to be nice enough, but physically quite unattractive and not interesting to talk to. I did not say no to giving her my number when asked because that would have been a rather public rejection. There are other people around, but I also do not want to encourage her to pursue something that is not there. I did respond to her text, trying to do so in a way that was polite and considerate without being at all encouraging. Why did I respond at all? Do you want to know? You know my mind. I generally do not want to be rude to people unless it is necessary, and also I may well attend future gatherings of this group, so we may meet up and cross paths again. So I feel like if I'm rude or totally ignore her, it would be just that much more awkward. Okay. This may turn out to be a very easy solution. Maybe her text was an invitation to ask her out. So maybe all I need to do is avoid taking that hint, and that would be that. However, since she asked for my number, she may well follow up that she's trying to organize an individual meeting with me, basically a date. If that happens, I'm not sure whether it would be kinder to ignore her, be busy that day without making a counter offer, and repeat being busy as many times as needed, or to give her some other responses more directive but may also be more hurtful. Any advice would be much appreciated. I do not want to unnecessarily hurt her or anyone else's feelings, and I'm also not going to date someone whom I do not want to date. Well, if it should come to that, okay, first of all, let's rewind. Okay, you gave her your number. Get you a Google number, or get you be like me and have a second cell phone. I have a second cell phone, and you know who gets that number? So I have 3, there's 3 numbers involved in my life. There's 3. Okay, now there's my real cell phone number that my family, my friends, and people close to me have. Then there's my secondary cell phone number that I give to people like, I don't know, business vendors, potential clients or whatever, people I do want to talk to, but I don't want them bugging me on my main line. Okay, that phone gets turned off at will. I don't always carry it with me. And it is the kind of phone like, if somebody has that number versus my main number, they on the B list. They're the B list people. Okay. Then I have the C list people that get my Google number. They ain't gonna never reach me. I don't care. Hell come freezing over. Jesus had the second coming, whatever. You dial that number till your fingers fall off. You're only going to be able to leave me a message. That is the C number. That's the number I put on like all those, when you send in and you get a warranty for a little purchased product that you purchased or whatever. That's the number that's on there. That's also the number that's on my checking account. People used to write checks and you put your phone number, and that was the number that went on my checks. I don't want you calling me about nothing. So see, in my life, there's 3 phone numbers. And depending upon which number you have, that's going to tell you where you are in the pecking order. So I suggest, my young brother, since you're about to get out here back in these streets, that you avail yourself of such a thing. You can get you a little cheap phone. It don't have to be no expensive one because you're only going to be using it to talk to these broads. Okay, you're not going to give me your real cell phone number. Then anytime you get ready, you can change that secondary number. Change that bitch every month if you want to, if it gets like that. And then they'll never be able to get you again. You see where I'm going with this? The other thing you have to do, since you're a single man with children, you don't see if they're males or females, they're older teens. Be very careful about who you bring up in your house around your kids. Okay, everybody don't need to know where you live. I was very strict with that about my about my daughter. You ain't coming to my house. That's just the way it was. I'll go to yours. We meet somewhere else. You ain't coming to my house. You don't need to know where I live. You don't know where my baby gonna be by herself when I'm not there at work because I'm working. She's gonna come home from school, whatever. She's gonna be in the house by herself. Do you need to be knocking on the door? How much you looking for me? No, nigga, you sure don't. You see where I'm going with this? So you gotta think about this kind of stuff. Everybody that you meet is not right in the head. So you want to put as many preventive things up in the way to protect yours and yourself and your property as possible. So they don't need to know where you live. They don't need to come to your house like that until you've been dealing with them for a minute. Then you can invite them over. Any woman who's got sense, and any man too, like in my case, the men, they all understood. Nobody was pressing me. Those that did press got dumped. Because then now it's like you got an agenda. I don't know what you're trying to do. What's your big deal trying to get to my house? But guess what? You ain't going, and now you're not gonna see me either for that. So you gotta, you back in the street. Well, they must have something, some kind of VoIP line, Maya. You just look into it. They got what's the other one? Not Cashapp. What is that? There's another one that people use a lot. Same shit anyway. Same thing. You want some electronic number that's not your real number. And so that's how I conduct my life. The carryover from my player days. Still have 3 phone numbers, 3 phones, 2 phones, and that Google 9. So you think about that, and so you start giving out that number, or you get you a Google type number and you give out that number, and then they can call that, and they'll be like, "Oh, I called you, I left a message. Oh yeah, I've been so busy." 2 teenagers. Oh my God, I'm exhausted. I really don't have time to be trying to go on a date or anything like that. Trying to get them out of school and all, blah, 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 blah. So you got to figure out a way though to start declining though, like in a polite way, saying, "Oh, that sounds really nice and thank you. That's very flattering, but I think I'm going to pass." And you can start lying. Say, "I'm investigating something else with another woman, and I'm going to concentrate all my energies over there." Does it have to be true? No. You see where I'm going with this? Once again, you guys you've been used to being in a relationship, so these clowns. You think that you have to tell everybody the truth like it's your woman. No, you don't. You don't even know these broads. You don't owe them shit. So if they don't want to go out with them, then you just lie. It's no biggie. Nobody cares. Leandra's such a scallywag. Okay, question number 4. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group from London. The male's 35 to 42. Summary of issue. My boyfriend won't stop farting around me, and I genuinely can't take it much more. Am I so unreasonable? Oh, Jesus. We've been together for just over a year and living together for a little less than that. It was too soon. I realize that now. He has lots of little quirks that I either love or have to learn to live with, but there's one that I genuinely cannot handle, and that is he farts so blatantly around me. He has zero shame about doing it and keeps telling me that it's natural. I have no problem with farts themselves. They are natural. It's the fact that he'll do it so obnoxiously. We're in bed together or chilling in the living room. He knows I don't like it, but just lands out with it's natural, and if I don't fart, I'll explode. Oh, good Lord. The fact is, it's not like it's uncontrollable because if we go out for dinner or whatever, he doesn't just sit there farting. I've been very clear with him that I really don't like it, and that is a definite boundary for me, but I honestly don't think he cares. Am I being so unreasonable? What the hell do I do? You go get you somebody that don't fart like a machine. That's what you do. Oh, this brings back memories. I can't really say, well, I don't know. That was my father. He was the fart king. And it was so funny because as kids, okay, we got 3 brothers. They into those bodily functions. Little boys are just gross. And so My father would come, like he's just walking right across the kitchen. And he's always saying, uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. And so we know that means he's getting ready to fart right. So he would strike a pose, like the Heimlich thing. What's a Heisman pose? But that's what they call it now. I don't know what they called it then. Or he'd jump up in the air like he was doing an air guitar, or he'd strike a pose like he was James Brown flying his cape or something. He'd strike a pose. The shit would be hilarious. And then it would go, and then we'd all, and that is so funny. My mother would just sit there just like in agony. And then, the fumes. It just, I don't know. Men are just different. Giggle says he needs to go excuse himself and go to the bathroom or another room. They don't do that. And they have the real fun, like if you guys are in bed and they pull the covers over your head and make you smell it. And you're sitting there dying. And it's like they're sitting there laughing their ass off because you're about to suffocate from the funk of their fart. I don't know. It's just growing up with boys is just different. So this kind of stuff, even though it would bother me, I don't think I'd be as spazzed out about it as you, because I grew up with 4 men in the house, and all they like to do is fart and burp and do all kind of silly stuff and play games like burp games and stuff like that. Yeah, girl, I'm telling you. That's the difference of growing up around ladies who, oh, I'm gonna excuse me, and they go off to, as my cousin used to call it, toot. She didn't want to use the word fart. She thought that was too gross. She says, "Oh, I have to toot." Why am I remembering all of this stuff? This is terrible. But it's whatever's your sensibilities. Like I said, for me, I think it wouldn't bother me as much as it's bothering you. But if this is who it is. Like I keep telling you, women, you all keep getting with these dudes and they do the stuff that gets on your nerves, and then you think that he's gonna change, and it is not going to change. He's showing you who he is right now. Somebody who likes to fart and he don't give a fuck if you like it or not. Okay, so if it bothers you that much, you're gonna have to make a decision. Do I want to stay with this farting stinky ass man, or do I want to get somebody who has more couth? How important is that to me? Do I want somebody who's going to be farting while he's walking down the aisle trying to marry me? I mean, think about what your life would be like with this farting man. And if it's not what you want, then go just exchange him for somebody else. It's not that serious. Question number 5. Oops, that was funny. Female, 20 to 34. She's Caucasian, from Rochester, New York. Summary of issue: how can I navigate my husband's eating habits? I'm curled up on the floor of my bathroom and I just realized I hit a breaking point. I just finished a 28-hour shift, so I apologize if this is incomprehensible. My husband has been a big eater. I'm 32, he's 34, so I watched this for a while. He's a big gym goer, so him consuming upwards of 9,000 to 10,000 calories a day. Oh, dang, that's like a 49 NFL football player. Calories a day has always been his norm. His parents have even said it nearly bankrupted their family trying to feed him through puberty. He is still very lean. Does he have a tapeworm? That's what it sounds like. It's never caused issues until I started my residency. We share groceries, and on my days off, we try and get out to the grocery store together for a big grocery run. Unfortunately, due to hospitalization as a child caused by a major food handling issue in my school, me and almost 100 other students were hospitalized. I'm going through strong aversions to, quote, unsafe foods. I'm working with a psychiatrist about it, and I have been since I'm a child. And I have my safe foods, which are generally dry pantry goods or very specific items otherwise. We buy huge quantities. Our grocery bill works out to be about $1,000 a month. For 2 people? We don't have kids. Wow. Recently, all of this food has been disappearing within 5 or 6 days. He drinks about a gallon of milk a day, half a box of cereal, an entire package of chicken, multiple large tubs of yogurt, and entire blocks of cheese. This doesn't even include his midnight snacks. This is just in one day, Deb. I can sometimes get in a bite or 2 of the food I bought before I find the empty packages in the pantry the next day. It's almost adding insult to injury that he puts the empty packages back instead of in the garbage. It's not uncommon that I come home to an empty fridge. Most days I'm too exhausted coming home to even bother ordering takeout. I've fallen asleep too many times on the couch to wake up the next day with the food untouched on the front door mat. My only saving grace is that my residency program pays for meals while we're on shift, so at least I get 2 or 3 meals a day at the hospital. That is, if I have a chance to eat. I begged my husband to be seen by a doctor. I was concerned about a thyroid issue, an eating disorder, or even an insane diagnosis like Prader-Willi Willie, I don't know what that is. And he dragged his feet before inevitably going. Nothing awry with his lab work by any means, which totally stunned me. He hasn't gained any weight. He isn't binging and purging, at least from what he's told me, and he doesn't display any signs that he would be purging. I asked if he felt upset or stressed with my long work hours. I work around 80 hours a week, and he said that he was coping fine. The biggest issue I'm facing is that I'm constantly coming home to an empty cabinet and fridge. The best I can do is catch up with salt and pepper because of how efficiently he cleans out any food item. Okay, so now he's just being selfish and ridiculous. That doesn't even make any damn sense. This letter's long as hell. He tried to cook for me in the past, but gets fidgety with waiting for me to come home. The most recent example I have is him preparing 2 large pans of lasagna. He ate it all in one sitting before I even got home. He ate 2 pans of lasagna. Who does that? Now, I do got a tapeworm. Something's going on. Even groceries I explicitly bought for myself and my husband knows are my safe foods get eaten because he, quote, forgot or, quote, thought I wouldn't eat them anyways, end quote. He does have severe ADHD. He is getting medicated, so the forgetfulness I can sometimes forgive. But I've even started designating specific drawers and shelves to be mine and putting up signs on food I want to be saved. Nothing stops him. I just want to be able to have a snack when I get home without wondering if the cabinet will be empty. My next step was to look into putting a fridge in our basement with a lock so I can have my own safe stash of food, but I shouldn't have to go down that extreme. I seriously wonder if a locked fridge would even deter him. I'm at a total impasse of what to do now. I've asked my colleagues both for medical and personal advice, and they've expressed concerns that he's doing this maliciously. If we can't find a reason otherwise, that's what I think. Especially when he goes into stuff that instead of going to get some more somewhere else, he goes and takes the stuff that you marked for yourself, knowing you doing these, long ass shifts. That is intentional. Now I know you don't want to see it that way because that's your husband and you love him. But if he was really seriously still hungry, he could go to get in his car and go get some fast food, order a pizza, do something like that. But no, he goes and he eats the food, the only food that you have marked for yourself intentionally. So you need to think about that. He's been the light of my life and is a fantastic partner in so many ways outside of this food situation, so I'm at a loss. But coming home today, I found 1 bag of veggie straws I asked him to save for me are gone, and it just broke me. Okay, so she finally finished talking. Yeah, you don't want to accept the fact that you think that he's forgetting and that you wasn't going to eat it anyway and stuff. He's being very passive aggressive. He is angry and trying to punish you for something. I don't know what it is. I ain't in y'all's marriage. But what you need to do is take a real solid look at his behavior. You're trying to make this sound like he can't stop himself or something. And like I'm telling you, the main thing is he's a grown man with a job and the ability to use a telephone or to get in a car and drive. So anything that he wanted other than what was, available to him at the house, he could go and get some food and, get it and bring it in the house himself. And let you have your food because that's for you. But he doesn't have that kind of consideration for you. He gonna eat what he wants, and then he gonna eat yours too. And then when you get home from your 28-hour shift, starving, well, just fuck you then, because I got what I wanted out of the deal. That's his attitude, and I'm not understanding why you don't see it. What you need to do is separate from your husband. You need to separate. My concern is, being a resident is extremely physically demanding. You're around people who are sick. We're headed into cold and flu season. Without proper rest, which no residents get, and without proper nutrition, you just like walking on the target on your back. Okay, this is a very dangerous situation for you health-wise. You have to have proper nutrition for your body to survive a residency. I'm sorry, I know too many of them, and you got to eat. I mean, they took to having like smoothies and stuff like that because they didn't have time to eat, but they still needed the protein. They still needed the fats for energy. They still needed their vitamins and minerals. So if you put it in a smoothie, with some fruits and some milk products, almond, whatever they had, then at least they got that. They might have that twice a day if that was all they could do and then have a good meal or two. So you have to think of some alternatives here. And my suggestion is really seriously for you to separate from this man and let him go over there and just eat up the world and everything else. Oh, if her check paying most of the food bill, well, that's an interesting thing too. Did you okay? As you listen to this, be sure to check out the chat stream over here on YouTube. So, you know, this is interesting. But yeah, he won't even leave veggie straw for. Now you know that won't fill you up. That if you're really hungry, that's not gonna do nothing. That's just he just ate that because it was for her and he didn't want her to have it. He wanted to have it. So I'm not sure. For me, this would not have worked. By the time I came home the second or third time and he had done some shit like that, I would be like, get the fuck out. That's because I don't have that kind of patience. And it's like, get out and take your tapeworm with you. When you go, don't come back here. Get yourself situated somewhere else. And then you eat up all the stuff that you want that you buy. But this, I need to have some food in my house, and you just like a locust. I can't do it. It's just so inconsiderate and selfish. Yeah, I can't with people like this. I just can't do it. Okay, woo. That's kind of sad. I wonder how she's gonna handle that. Question number 6. This is a male in the 20 to 34 age group from Sheffield in the UK. So I have an issue. I'm feeling tired and in need of some me time, but I'm not looking to hurt my girlfriend's feelings. Is it okay to ask my girlfriend for some occasional time on my own to recharge while hanging out together at our houses? First of all, before I even get into this, you don't ask other people to give you what you want. You tell them that this is what I'm going to do. Is she going to be in her feelings about it? Absolutely. Maybe, maybe not. But chances are, if you have to write a letter like this, chances are she's going to be like, oh no, because she one of them joined at the hips types of girlfriends. I hate that shit. Let's see what you say. I absolutely love my girlfriend, and we frequently spend time in either her apartment or mine, often 3 to 5 out of 7 days a week. We're both remote workers. She loves hanging out with me too, as well. That being said, as much as I like it, I feel like I don't recharge my energy as much while doing activities with her as with just chilling out with a book or game on my own. I enjoy it and have fun, but it's not recharging me as I need. And it's taking a toll on my overall energy. I'm feeling more and more tired every day. I feel like just spending a couple of hours doing my own thing would help me. Does this make sense? Oh, I'm like that, so I get it. Deb, how would you approach the conversation so that she doesn't take it the wrong way? She is definitely more extroverted herself and doesn't seem to be having the same issue. Yeah, there's people that like, they get their energy from being around a whole bunch of folks. And then there's those of us who need to be alone to get our energy back. Being around a whole bunch of people all the time is draining to me. Oh my God, I just get so fucking exhausted. It's just too many different energies. I can't do it. So all you have to do is tell her, say, look, don't take this like I'm not loving you or anything, but all this togetherness all the time is starting to wear me out. I need some me time. I need time to read my books, just relax, take a nap, and just be by myself. So for every 2 weekends that I spend with you, that third weekend I'm gonna spend by myself. And during the week, we'll see each other twice, and then that's it. I need more alone time. And she's gonna be like, oh well, why this and that, and try to make it about her. Say, I want to repeat, this is not about you. This is about me. I'm exhausted. You seem to get energy from, you're okay with this. I'm the kind of person that needs a lot of time by myself, and I'm not getting it. Now you're thinking, well, is this gonna hurt her feelings? Are yours hurt? Why are you worried more about her feelings when you tell the truth about yourself than you are your own? This is called having boundaries and self-esteem, sir. You don't let other people put you in a position where you're emotionally or psychologically depleted to please them. That is the first rule of any relationship. Always take care of self. And the fact that you're sacrificing your needs like that for her happiness, people do that when they first get together. Sure, they go over and above. But see, that's why I never do that. I never do that. I just me all the time, 24/7. You're gonna see who I am out the gate. Because I went to this party last weekend, right? It was last Friday night, and at this golf course and stuff, and it was all nice and whatnot. And I was telling my friend about it, and she's like, "Oh, it's gonna be a lot of older single men there and stuff." And I said, "Yeah, probably." What happened here? Why is my screen frozen? I said, yeah, probably, you know. And she's like, oh, you're going to go, what you going to wear? You're going to dress up in this? And I'm saying, nope. I'm going to just be my usual self, because any man that wants to get with me should know right off the gate that, if you expect somebody who's going to be all dolled up all the time with lashes and shit, that's not me. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be, I'm going to, so I wore, some nice, like flowy looking pants and this silk top and stuff. I mean, it was, presentable and feminine and all this old stuff here. And then, I had my ethnic beads and stuff on. And, that's how I rolled up in there, my little heels, and that was it. And so, I mean, I looked decent, but there was women there in after five back out dresses and all this kind of stuff. I'm not doing all that. That is entirely too much work, and it's not sustainable, because I already know I would not keep that up. So why start off that way? That's false advertising. So yeah, you need to handle this, dude, and don't be shy about it. Just tell her. She's gonna have some little emotions about it and stuff, but saying, I repeat, this is not about you. I love spending time with you, but I also need to love having some time for myself, and I haven't been getting that lately. Question number 7. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. I'm sorry, from Cardiff, Wales. Summary of issue. Hi, Deb. I hope you're well. I had a light bulb moment recently I want to ask you about. I am 26 and have been in relationships. I've sought out relationships, but not once have I gotten a healthy one. All my relationships have been toxic. One was violent. I have never actually been in love. I don't think. I think I just felt a sense of attachment and fear of losing the person, but I've never loved or settled. Why does a woman seek out dysfunctional relationships? My parents have been together for 30 years, but their relationship is very unhealthy. In truth, I'd blow my brains out if we were stuck like they are. I don't want to unhealthy. I don't want to get cheated on, betrayed, lied to. So why do I keep choosing men who will no doubt do that to me? Why does a person pick unavailable, emotionally immature partners? I am not perfect. I know my faults, but never have I punished another person for my shortcomings, hurt someone simply because I can. I have a therapy appointment booked, but it's not until 2 months away. I was wondering if you and the ladies who are wiser and more experienced than me have some advice or thoughts. Keep in mind, ladies, she's only 26. My last relationship was about a 6-month one with a 28-year-old loser who I ultimately felt sorry for. He lied about everything. Every word out of his mouth turned out to be a lie. In the end, I found that he wasn't actually a struggling martial artist trying to find work, a victim in every situation. He was just a lazy parasite who lived off of everybody, sold pharmaceuticals, sat on his couch, and read conspiracy theories all day. The idea of dating another man made me sick for a while following that relationship. I am so done with people like that, but for the life of me, I do not know why I seek them out. Any thoughts? Well, sometimes, let's start with what's your hobbies and interests. I know this may seem simplistic, but follow me along here for a minute. Women need projects. It's like a creative outlet. You need something to do, something to engage your mind, something to think about, fantasize about, try to improve, work on, this and that, blah, blah, blah. If you do not have a tangible and sensible hobby like painting, needlework, crocheting, knitting, developing recipes, sewing, making clothes and stuff, you pottery, jewelry making stuff, you don't have a tangible kind of hobby that produces beautiful things at the end that you can admire and show other people and stuff, you don't have that, you will tend to gravitate towards loser men. Why? Because you need some entertainment with your silly ass. You don't have anything going on in your life that is engaging. So you pick silly men and they engage you with bullshit. But either way, you have something that you're going to put energy into that you're trying to change. You see where I'm going with this? It's the same thing. Now, this is a dev thought. There's no scientific proof of this. There's never been a study on this. But I'm telling you what I've observed for the last 35 years. And that's that. Women that have things that are wonderful, engaging, and positive in their life don't tend to tolerate that kind of stuff, and they're not attracted to those kind of relationships because that side of them is being fulfilled in other ways. If you're the kind of woman that goes to work, go to church, go visit your mama, and go home to watch TV, and and gossip about folks, and that's your world, then you will be more likely to be attracted to that kind of shit because You need some excitement in your life, and you're not bringing it to your world in a positive way. Now, that is my assessment. Now, which does that fit you? I don't know. Only you would know the answer to that question. But I'm gonna tell you, if you don't have anything that's that makes your heart sing, and you have to go and chase men, stupid men, and get involved in their drama in order to feel that feeling of excitement and heart beating fast and that kind of stuff. You don't have the kind of thing. You're not bringing that to yourself. You will be. That's why you tend to. That's what I've observed. That's what I've seen. So many women just boring as fuck. Actually, I did a video on that. It's on the channel. It's called "Are You a Basic Woman?" So you want to see that, to go to the top of the channel and search "basic women," "basic woman." Well, anyway, basic chick, basic broad, something like that. Anyway, basic Stephanie in the title, and then listen to what I have to say on that topic, and you'll see what I'm talking about. The majority of women fit that category. They don't have shit going on. Don't think about nothing but some man and some kids and cleaning up houses and cooking and stupid stuff. Like, please. Find something that brings you joy and that enriches your life. Something that makes you passionate about. Okay? Because being passionate about one man after another is not the ticket. It has to be something that you can do without a man in your life that's still going to make you happy and excited to be breathing. Find that. Find that joy. And then you pursue that. And you'll see that these kind of relationships and situations lose their attraction almost overnight. Okay, this young lady, question number 8. She's a female, 22 to 27 age group from Schaumburg, Illinois. Sorry, issue. I'm dating a guy that my older sister used to like. My sister had a thing with this guy who we both met through mutual friends. Not too long after meeting him, we both became close as he was very gentle and kind, and apparently we both started to develop feelings for him unknowingly. My sister tried to make the first move, and they had a couple of dates. From what I understand, she confessed her feelings to him, but he said he wasn't interested in her as a woman, just as a friend. And he rather told my sister that he would consider dating me because I am more his type, and he drew the line with her. However, this is where the problem started. My sister didn't stop flirting with him and started suggesting intimacy with him. She said she would keep it a secret from me and that he can rely on her when he is lonely. Wow. The guy fell for it, and they had some physical touch one night at his house, just kissing on the neck while laying on each other, no lip kiss or nook. The next day, the guy told my sister that he was feeling terrible about it because he felt like he was committing a crime against me and told her to not contact him anymore. My sister became so angry, she decided to tell me what happened between them and told me to not like him anymore because he was playing with both of us. I understand he was also at times being flirtatious with my sister and decided to be physical with her, but I am so upset with both of them for what they have done. The guy is trying to explain to me that he did wrong and he feels extremely sorry that he couldn't resist my sister reaching out to him for physical intimacy. My relationship with my sister never has been great in the past. She's a very selfish person, a bit narcissistic, and she has always put her personal emotions first and never cared about others. My feelings for this guy still exist, but I don't want to seem like I'm dating him to revenge my sister for the hurt she has caused me in the past. This is too complicated for me, and I don't know what to do. I want to know what you think about this guy. Does he seem innocent, or should I leave him as well? I would leave him as well. First of all, I don't do sloppy seconds. Okay, so if you done been with anybody in my family or any of my friends, anybody I know, you off limits. You can't touch me. Don't even look at me. Go stand over there somewhere, far, far away. The reason why I say that because you're putting this like he's the only man in the world or some shit. The fact that he could be enticed with a few words like that shows he's got a weak mind. Even though he came back around and realized it's too late. You already crossed the line, and once you cross the line and break that barrier, there's no unbreaking it. You was messing around and laying on and rolling around on the mattress with my sister. So it's a wrap. Ain't shit here for you, homie. Just take that show on somewhere else. Your side show. It's not complicated at all. If you have boundaries where you don't want to be messing with some dude who also messed with your sister or that your sister liked, then just leave him alone. Just say, this is too much uncomfortable. I wish you hadn't done that. I wish you had stuck to your guns like a man and stood on your principles. I wish you had thought about me in the moments when you were about to do that, but you didn't. And to me, this is a good test because this is the same kind of situation that you would be presented with as someone's husband and you failed the test. And so you just lay it out on them, you know? Just lay it out on them. You're too young for this shit. You got your whole life ahead of you. You don't have to settle for this clown. It's not like he's the only man in the world. So what, he likes you. He disrespected you on that move right there. So see, me, I'm a big one about respect. You wasn't thinking about me then. The motherfucker don't think about me now. Get your hush puppies and get to stepping. Get on out of my life. You know, you have to have those kind of boundaries in place in your life as you go through life. You can't let men, I mean, no matter how much you might like him, there have to be limits to what you're going to tolerate and what you're going to accept from a man. Okay, this to me is over the top. You and he this is during the period of time where he's trying to talk to you, and this is what he gonna do. I'll be done with your sister because she's trifling, and done with him because he's stupid. Yeah, there you go. Question number 9, female, 28 to 34 from Chicago. Summary of issue: my ex-cheater wants me back. So, to summarize our relationship, we were together for 5 years. We never lived together. In fact, he moved further away. We actually never had overnights more than one day. He always blamed having kids, anxiety, or even to housework as reasons. April of last year, I discovered that he was cheating on me. He cheated with over 30 women over a 5-year period. Not all physical, mostly sexting and emotional. He had at least 4 women proclaiming their love for him. Now, me being shell-shocked, I offered him a chance at redemption. He refused to change. Fast forward, things ended, but due to financial hardships, I'm still renting his second house, so it keeps us in contact. He showed no interest in fixing us or anything. I started seeing another guy, and last month he found out about it. He has sent me letters, suddenly found God, has offered to come over and spend time, makes all these promises. He is currently all over the internet proclaiming his love and how hurt he is that he lost me. Oh, he's putting on the narcissist loser show. I feel so insulted. This man manipulated me for years and never once felt bad about it until he got caught. And even then, he kept the shenanigans going. He's only upset because I refused to take him back. I found happiness in myself and by chance met a wonderful person who loves me so much. A man who treats me like a queen and like I deserve. In 5 years, my ex didn't even give me a fraction of what this man has given me in just 6 months. Because I can't move just yet, it's really hard to ignore the text, the pleas. It's hard to not go off. It was easier when he didn't know I was with someone. He didn't try to talk to me as much. What should I do? You should okay, first of all, don't ever bring that guy to this house. You go to his. Okay, there must be strict boundaries here. You can see this guy is tripping and you living in his house. Even though I hope you have like a strict lease, like a landlord-tenant, so there's some legal protections there. If he's just doing this as a favor to you, you in a dangerous situation because he can get a bee in his bonnet and decide to throw you out because he's mad. So you keep that in mind too. But I would highly recommend if your living situation is so tenuous that you're depending upon an ex to, for a place to stay, I would not bring another man there. Make sure this guy understands that. So I'll go to you. We can spend time together at someplace else, but we will not be here. Okay, so this is a situation. Then, do everything that you can to move out of his house as quickly as possible. Okay. Get a second job if you have to. And save all that money for your moving expenses. That's what you need to do. Okay. Question number 10. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group from Middleton, UK. Third issue, very disappointing proposal. So we've been married for over a year now. Okay, wait, are you talking about a proposal? You already married? I'm confused. But I still can't shake this feeling about the proposal. I'd always said I wanted something private but special. Instead, it was just a quick question at home. No decor, no planning, and I even had to find us a restaurant to celebrate in afterwards. I'd say I've 70% forgiven him, but I still think, why did you flop so badly? To give him some credit, he was extremely nervous and said he asked on a whim because he felt like doing it there and then. I understand whims, but I would have preferred for it to be planned. Deb, have other women ever mentioned feeling some kind of way about their proposals too? How do you suggest I move past this? Grow up. See, listen to the thing. If it was going to be that big of a deal, then we should have turned him down and said, no, I don't want to accept a proposal under this situation. I want you to put some forethought and planning into it. I want it to make it romantic. I want it to be memorable. This is not the ticket. Even though definitely I will definitely say yes, but this you have to. It's the whole vision here, and you ain't meeting it. And then he would be like, oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That she's already married and she's still talking about it. See, I don't understand that part. But if it was me and he, came with some last minute off the cuff kind of shit, and I was like, oh no, this is unacceptable, I would have told him no, just like I just told you. But once you say yes, see, our bets are off because that means it was good enough for you to accept. So there you go. So if you talk about it a year later, it's stupid. So shut up and just make sure he starts planning something for y'all's 10th anniversary or something. When you have a what they call it, renewal of vows, he gonna do it. You better do it right then. 5 years, whatever number of years you want to do it. That's the only way he can redeem himself, right? Give you a new memory to overwipe the other one. But I mean, like, you said yes to what you say yes for. That was stupid. Question number 11. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from San Luis Obispo, California. Summary issue: how to have a constructive conversation with someone who never takes accountability. Oh. My relationship of 3 years is in desperate need of repair, and I don't know how to make it happen. But I'm tired of the trends. I feel like we go in circles of arguing and never fully making up because when there's a problem, it's always all my fault. And then before repair happens, he just acts like there was never an issue and is suddenly saying, I love you so much and trying to get affection while I'm still left stewing in the issue. This, I'm sure, makes him feel rejected when I don't reciprocate his affection, but I'm not going to pretend things are all good when they're not. I try to wait for a good time, like outside of an argument, during a neutral time, to express my feelings of where I think needs work in our relationship, but it ends up coming out in unhealthy ways when I feel my needs aren't being met, even when I specifically ask for what I need in a moment. Okay, let me just stop here. Because you're going on and on. I'll read some more of this in a minute, but I just want to say this while it's in my mind. You have been dealing with the dude for years. You've known how he is, and yet you stayed with him. My number one rule on this channel is if your man is not giving you, or for the man, woman, whatever, whoever you with, your partner is not giving you the relationship that you need to feel safe, secure, loved, then what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to leave that relationship. What you don't do is stay with the person, arguing with them for year after year, trying to make them change. It's pointless. It's fruitless. It's an effort in futility. It's never going to happen. Look at the video I did a couple of weeks ago, the Sunday sermon, talking about women who stay in relationships trying to wish and hope and pray a man's going to be different. Y'all waste so many years of your life doing it. It's just accepting the man the way he is. He's on some bullshit, you cut him loose. It's that simple. All this on, well, I love him though. I mean, that's so you stupid for loving somebody who's treating you bad. Now, how about that? Now let me be worried about him feeling rejected and all this old shit here. Okay, now let me finish up what she's talking about. I feel like I ask for bare minimum things and I don't get them. And it gets so frustrating. Yeah, but still, you're still there. And you're not even asking for nothing. You ask for bare minimum. You don't even get that. And yet here you are, still there. I hate feeling mean when it's just that I'm so over feeling alone when I'm supposed to have a partner. And it's, of course, gotten worse now that we have a newborn, 1 month old. Okay, then you double down with a baby? Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus Christ. And I feel like I have to do everything myself. Well, weren't you doing everything yourself before? Did you think it was magically going to change because you popped out a baby? It feels like nearly every time I ask for help, it's an issue to receive it. So as you've noticed, there's a pattern here. You ask for shit and he denies it. And it's a pattern that's been in existence since the start of your relationship. And yet you still stayed there and even added a baby to the mix. Okay. Ooh, stupid. We've had conversations before about what a current problem is. He always sees it as me being the problem issue, telling me I need to look in the mirror. I feel like I'm pretty self-aware and emotionally mature. Well, he's the opposite. No, you're not. You a dumb bunny. Because you don't understand shit that's happening right in your face. And your role in it. And you talking about him not being accountable, or what's the word you use? Hold on a second. Let me not misquote you. accountable. You made one stupid decision after another for years. The one who's not being accountable for is you. So he's right. Look in that mirror, because that's you talking about yourself. I suggested therapy so that we can learn healthy ways to communicate and create a stronger, more healthy overall relationship and environment. But he says, quote, "Why would I talk to a stranger about my relationship? I can't see this relationship at this point going on for another year the way it is. I don't want to give up on it, though. I want to create a happy home with him, but I don't know how to have this conversation and make actual change happen. That's why I wish we could go to therapy. Therapy's not going to change nothing. It's just going to give you an explanation for why it's just the way it is. That's what therapy does. If you're going by yourself, it will help change you. But you're going to therapy with the goal of trying to get him to understand and change and be different. It's not going to happen, chick. It's just wasting money. I'm angry inside. I don't want it to become an angry, blaming conversation, but I want him to know how I feel. He already knows. He don't give a shit. That's the part you just refuse to accept. And what I see could use change in our day-to-day interactions. Right now, I just want to tell him how selfish he acts and how annoying it is to deal with. But I'm sure that's not the best way to put it. Any advice? I'm not looking for just leave either. I want to work out. It's not going to happen. Notice how many things you keep wishing and hoping for and wanting. Have you ever gotten any of those things yet? That's why I say the one who's stupid here is you. The man is he's doing what you see is what is all he gonna give you. Now, if that's not good enough, you have to make the choice. Do you stay and just shut your fuck up, or do you leave him alone and go find somebody else with your less than 6-month-old baby? I don't know why your dumb ass couldn't make this decision before. I know. See, Kimchi, I'm like Kimchi, like, oh Lord, that's just that's what I want to say. It's just dumb. I mean, the man ain't been nothing but a fool from day one until she arguing with him and trying to get him to change, trying to get him to change, and then say, oh, well, maybe if I have a baby, they'll change. Oh, of course that's not going to happen. If anything, he's going to just act more of a fool because now he knows you stuck. And so you did this to yourself. You're going to be a single mother with a stupid baby daddy that doesn't give you anything that you want. So that means when it's time for you to get visitations and, work out cooperative agreements about parenting and stuff, you're going to get the same stonewalling and the same resistance that you get now, and you're going to be all frustrated and stuff. But see, you could have saved yourself from all of this by breaking up with him and not having a kid with him. But no, you did this to yourself. So for the next 18 years, you're going to suffer because of stupid decisions that you made. Let us move on. Hopefully someone who has more sense than you. Because you're a dummy. Question number 12. This is a male in the 22 to 28 age group from Manchester, England. So I have an issue. I want to break up with my girlfriend because of her eating disorder. Am I a jerk for thinking this way? I've been with my girlfriend for about 6 months. At first, I thought she was just a petite and picky eater. It did not take me long to figure out that she has some kind of eating disorder. She refuses to get professional help because I don't think I can deal with it anymore. I love this girl, but sometimes I wish she was just normal. It's so frustrating when we try to have dinner and she's checking calories, or when she changes her outfit 100 times because the first 99 made her, quote, look fat, or when she's standing over at mine and just not eating. Like, what am I supposed to do? I can't even enjoy a movie in bed with snacks because it will only be me snacking. The worst is that she won't have Nook Nook because she feels fat. I have tried so hard to tell her she's beautiful and has the most perfect body. This girl is literally 5'2" and 97 pounds. I am so tired of telling her that she isn't fat, and I cannot even understand how she can possibly see herself that way. I'm starting to find it annoying and draining. We are young, and I just want to do normal boyfriend-girlfriend stuff. Am I wrong for feeling like, no, just get rid of her ass? I tell you, I can't do affliction, so you definitely wrote the right person. I can't do people that flip-flop emotionally, got mental illness, got drama in their minds, they got bad understanding, can't understand shit you say to them, take everything personally, fly off the handle all the time. I can't do none of them kind of things. Popping pills, they bipolar, they schizophrenic, they whatever they are. Nope, not doing it. Not doing it. I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. Eating disorders is also on that thing. Whether they eat on the other end, where they want to eat everything in the world like dude earlier, or whether they're this kind, they don't want to eat nothing. I can't do it. I just want normal. I just want normal, regular man. That's normal, okay? I want you to be right in the middle on all scales. So, and I understand what you mean. You can't even have you can't have the kind of romantic relationship that you want with someone like this. So once you found out that she had this issue, you have to tell her, I don't want to be bothered with you and your bullshit about food. I got to go. You over there counting calories about every single thing. You don't want to eat nothing, and then you can't even have a good time in bed. And you ever talking about you fat all the damn time? You're weird. I gotta go. That's what you would get from me. I think you men are so polite. You guys, if I were a dude, I would be like a savage. I mean, like, bitch, your ass is skinny and skins and bones and shit now. And you have to talk about you fat. You look like a fucking scarecrow when you get out the shower. I don't know what the problem is here. Why you think you need to count calories? You need to count them to add some. You could do with a good another 5 or 10 pounds, and then you might look like something decent. But right now, I can't do this. I got to go. Question number 13. Female, 22 to 27, from Dearborn Heights, Michigan. Same issue. My boyfriend's best friend is causing problems in my relationship, and I'm unsure how to proceed. Me and my boyfriend have been dating for more than a year, and it's pretty serious. We met each other's families, can't right now due to work and studies, but plan to move in soon, etc. This relationship is very loving, and I truly believe that he cares very much for me. The issue arises when his best friend, who he's known for 3 years, tries to meddle in our relationship. She often female best friend. She often got angry, upset, or stonewalled us whenever she wanted to spend time with my boyfriend, and he and I had already planned something as a couple. That being said, they hung out one-on-one and with their respective partners, me and the best friend's girlfriend, on a weekly basis, just as often than before he met me. The last one of these incidents occurred last week. Boyfriend and I are planning on going to Europe this December to visit some of his relatives and see some Christmas decorations, and spoke about our plans during a gathering at which she was present. The best friend got so upset that she left without saying goodbye to anybody. Turns out the problem is has daydreamt about taking this trip with my boyfriend and felt crushed and upset that he was planning on taking me instead. This is the most recent one of similar instances. It's only my opinion, but I think that when friends get into serious relationships that require time and effort, I understand I'll receive a little less of that. I've been on the friend side of the equation, and I've dealt with it without taking it out on my friend or their partner. I never forbade them from hanging out, even one-on-one. I just expect to be my boyfriend's number one girl and not have to share my spot with someone else. This best friend also has a female partner. She's bi, and she never took into account that my boyfriend might feel abandoned while she plans things with her partner. While I feel she sees me as an accessory she can tolerate when it doesn't interfere with her plans, and to get rid of when I threaten her top spot in his list. My boyfriend admits her behavior is disrespectful, but also not that serious. So I gave him an ultimatum. Either he mans up and talks to her, or I won't be present at any social gathering at which she's going. I just don't want to be in a place where I don't feel appreciated or respected. He said he'll think about it. Oh, that you shouldn't have done that. My question to you are, am I overreacting or overthinking this? Is my boyfriend right in not standing up for me with her? Any way that I or him could diffuse the situation? Yes, you'd be a bitch. Let me tell you how I would have handled that. Okay, so let me go back to your letter. Okay, so we've been dating for more than a year, and then she tries to meddle and she gets upset when she wants to spend time with your boyfriend, and you already planned something as a couple. Okay, now if that's the point at which you were supposed to step to her, woman to woman, and say, look, I know you think that you have a high position in his life, but guess what? You like women and he likes me. Okay. He's been knowing you for 3 years. If he never tried to get at you in 3 years, guess what? That means that it's never going to happen. He wasn't interested in you then. He ain't interested in you now. And guess what? I'm the one fucking him, not you. And so I'm going to go to Europe with him, not you. I'm the one spending all this time, spending the night at his house, not you. You need to understand your place and stay in it. You're getting out of pocket, chick. So, you need to understand what time it is. I'm not going to back down. If anything, I'm going to clown you every time we get together and you start acting like this. I'm going to call your fucking ass out publicly. So you better check yourself. Now, is that displaying jealousy? That's commanding respect. Because this is some bitch shit. And she's trying to, punk you. And if you let her do it, well, then it makes you look weak. You're looking for your boyfriend to do it. It's not his job to do it. It's your job to do it. Because she's, the threat here is to you. So you're supposed to put her ass in check like right quick and tell her to go over there and be with her girlfriend and stay the fuck out your relationship. That's what you're supposed to tell her. Instead, you over here giving your boyfriend you man up or I won't be present at any social gathering where she's going. Don't you think that's what she wants? You idiot. What did you say that for? That was a stupid move. That was dumb. You rescind that shit quickly. And then, like I said, you're going to roll in there. What you need to start doing is rolling in. You got a savage friend like me. That's what you need to do. Roll in with your savage friend and sick your friend on her. So the friend could be like, why are you all up in his face like that? Don't you know they a couple? He ain't interested in you. You tripping and stuff like that. That's what I would say. I'm just like, just be telling people about themselves. Oh, did that at the gym the other day. What was that, yesterday? I don't remember. Anyway, so went to the gym with my friend, and there's this guy there that I can't fucking stand. He's an older dude, and he's, very swole. I mean, he's muscly. And he loads on the incline leg press machine where you put the weight plates on there. He gonna put like 6 plates on each side, right? Nobody needs to do that. If your ass ain't trying to bodybuild, what the fuck is you doing? Okay, so I wanted to use the leg press, right? So Leah's like, oh, look, your friend is here and he's done left all the weights over there. I took one look at that thing and that was it. Something snapped to me because we've been dealing with his shit for months. I walked in there, I tapped him on the shoulder. I said, we need to use that leg press and you need to take them weights off. And he was just he looked stunned because, he's like, what, you need what? I said, you put all them weights on. I need you to go over there and take them off so we can use it. Just leave one on each side. That's what we'll do. So we'll do like 90 pounds. So he was over there taking them off. And my friend was just looking at me like, I can't believe you did that. I'm like, you think I'm going to wear myself out taking them off? I want to use the machine. The other 2 was in use. It was the only one that was empty. And it had all them plates on it. That motherfucker walked away from the machine. Go take that shit off. So see, that's how I am. I'm just very direct. I don't mince words. I'm not going to pussyfoot around, and I'm not going to be sparing your feelings. If it's some bullshit, you doing some bullshit, I'm going to correct you. And if you act stupid, I'll do it publicly and humiliate you at the same time. So let's come to an agreement here, girlfriend, because otherwise it's going to be all good, all bets off, and I'm going to clown your desperate acting bitch ass right in front of everybody. So she would be put on notice. But yeah, roll up in there with one of your friends. Under the guise of you going to introduce her to somebody. Let her be there. Have your savage friend like me. And bring her with you next time. But don't you dare do this where you don't show up. No, you're going to be there every time. And you're going to be there in double because you're going to bring a friend with you. That's what you're going to start doing. Question number 14. Male 28 to 34, Los Angeles, California. Summary of issue. Anytime my mother and I argue, she gets mad if my boyfriend steps in the conversation, even if he does it for my well-being. Okay. So we're talking 2 dudes here. All right. Just make sure I understand. English is not my native language, so maybe there will be some mistakes. I live with my mother because the situation is quite difficult. I work as a substitute teacher in different schools, but I'm still saving up to buy my own car, so I drive my mother's car. I use public transportation when I can. And so I don't think I could live independently as of now. My boyfriend and you, how old is your ass? Dude, come on now. You're too old for this. My boyfriend and I have been together for 4 years. So why don't you live with him? And he visits almost every weekend. My mother has expressed multiple times that she's fine with this. Now, my relationship with my mother is kind of a roller coaster. She's friendly as long as everything goes her way. I've tried my best for a long time to keep things peaceful by doing multiple chores, helping her with anything she needs, and basically not arguing unless it's necessary. But lately, it's been hard. Every time I express a different point of view than hers, she gets mad. Hardcore mad, to the point where she won't speak to me for days. Recently, she even stopped talking to me, and I quote, for reasons other than me, end quote. She was simply angry with someone else. The situation this time is a bit more serious, and I'm even considering if I'm in the wrong here. I was called to go to work at a school that's a half an hour from my home. I told her, and she said we would talk about it later. Today, my boyfriend visited, and during lunch, she started asking why I accepted the job and how I was planning to get there. I told her that it was the only good option that I had since there weren't other jobs available at nearby schools, but I could simply take a bus if she needed the car. I guess she didn't care about what I said because she kept on going on and on about how I don't think things through, that I only think about myself. She has to sacrifice herself every time. My boyfriend interjected saying the same thing as me, that I could take the bus and there's not any problem with it. Then she started crying, and I told her that if she had a problem with it, she could just talk to me. After a while in silence, she left and went to her room. A couple of hours passed, and she asked if I could talk, basically to tell me that I couldn't use her car and that my boyfriend has no business butting into our argument. In the past, my boyfriend entered one argument I had with her, which where I had an anxiety attack. He stepped in to stop me from arguing and spiraling out of control, and she got mad at him for a month until he apologized. After that, I asked him not to step into any argument I had with her because basically I didn't want him to get involved and have problems with her. This time, I told her that if she didn't want him to say anything, she shouldn't have brought up the conversation in front of him. She disagreed, saying that we're in the wrong and that it's not normal for him to butt in, that he should have stayed quiet. I'm fine with my boyfriend stepping in the argument since he just calmly stated the same thing as I did, but to have to wonder if she has a point and we're in the wrong here. No, you're not wrong. She's just sensitive. I know there's a lot to unpack here, but I kind of need some external input right now. Both me and my boyfriend will listen in. Thanks a lot. Both of y'all need to get together and move in together. Move the fuck out your mama's house. Then wherever you are, try to get a permanent job, and you can get there. Get you some little bucket car, or get you a set up some kind of carpool situation, or get you a moped or something. Do something so that you can get to your different assignments. But really, you're old enough and got enough experience now that you should be able to settle in and get a permanent position. Have you tried looking at a private school? Okay, you don't have to be at public schools all the time. You can go to a private school. Think about where you could go, where you're going to go to one place. That's what you need to do. Okay, start trying to set that up, and get out your mama's house. You're too old to be living there. Your ass is almost 30 years old. Get out. Okay, that's why you having arguments with your mother. That's not. You shouldn't be using her car. You're living with somebody else. You should be able to save a lot of money. So think about that. Think about how you could make that happen. All right. And you've been dating this dude for 4 years. I don't understand why y'all not living together in these hard economic times. Question number 15. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Chicago, Illinois. Male, 28 to 34. Summary of issue. I need girl code advice. My friend and coworker got handsy with me, but he has a girlfriend that we also work with. Telling her could get messy, but it feels like the right thing to do. He's had this girlfriend of 2 years. We all work together. They are 31 and 32, and I'm 27. He and I are bartenders, and his girlfriend is a server. He and I went out for a post-shift drink after the store closed. He said his girlfriend didn't want to come, but she was already in bed and in for the night. I thought nothing of it in my mind, just grabbing a drink with a friend after work, no biggie. Okay, the restaurant was closed, so that means most restaurants close at 9, 10 o'clock. So here you are going out to have a drink with somebody else's boyfriend at 10 o'clock at night. Why did you say yes to that? You're supposed to tell him, well, you should go home with your girlfriend because I'm tired, I'm going home. That's what you're supposed to do. If it was a female friend, I could see it. But not with somebody else's boyfriend. Like, okay, so I already know this is certain things you young girls do. I mean, I know it's innocent. You're not thinking, but you have to think like a rogue dude. And even if he's not of that mindset, err on the side of caution and assume that all men asking you out for a drink when their girlfriend is home and it's late at night has some bullshit on his mind. Okay? Always think that way. And you'll save yourself drama. It might be that he doesn't, but guess what? You don't care that he doesn't. Because you're gonna move the same whether he does or not. Do you see where I'm going with this? Okay, so that's rule number 1. Let me just put that out there now because I don't want to forget. Okay, so you say no biggie. He apparently had other plans. Here we go. And I would like to preface by saying that I tend to freeze up and have a hard time speaking up in situations like because of past trauma and abuse. So we go to the restaurant bar across the street from our job. He's getting progressively more touchy with me. And at first I'm thinking, okay, I've never seen him with his other female friends. Maybe he just feels like we've gotten to a chiller point in our friendship. I was wrong. No. Keep your hands off of me, motherfucker. I'm not your girlfriend. You touch her. Don't touch me. Okay, so he would have got one warning, and after that would have got up and left. Okay, but let's see what you did. He keeps touching me in ways that are just very clearly I'm coming on to you, and you stayed there. And it made me incredibly uncomfortable the entire night. See, you just stood there, just sat there taking the abuse and disrespect. And I was giving all of the nonverbal and body language cues that says I'm not into it, but you didn't get up. But again, it's really hard for me to speak up in these situations. You don't have to speak up, just get up. You have to say a word. Get up, push your chair in, and get your person to leave. That's all you had to do. And it makes me really angry that I couldn't bring myself to tell him to F off. I kept steering the conversation to casual topics and bringing up his girlfriend on purpose. See? Passive. Weak. That's why he's going to keep coming at you like the Terminator because you didn't do shit. I eventually just got so uncomfortable, I started to leave by trying to pay my tab, but he refuses my money and pays for both, tries to put my cash into my shirt. We watch our cars. I'm putting physical distance between us. At our cars, I put something in the passenger side of my car, hoping he would just keep walking to his car, but he followed me instead, and we hugged goodbye, but not a quick friend hug way. He was hugging me and tried to slide his hand down the back of my jeans. At this point, I finally get myself to yell at him. This time, I swear to effing God, get the F off of me in your car and go home and tell your girlfriend when you're home. He backed off and we both got in our cars. I'm laughing nervously and I'm furious and I feel like I'm in shock over it all. This sounds dramatic, but I'm generally so caught off guard by all of this. This is also the first time I've ever hung out with him one on one, and it has otherwise been always in a group setting. And now at the point where I feel like I need to tell his girlfriend what happened because we all work together, it can get incredibly messy very fast. And I'd like to avoid that, but I really feel wrong if I leave her in the dark. But you're supposed to, when you got in your car, pick up your phone and call her. Even if she didn't answer, leave her a voicemail. Say what just happened. Your motherfucking boyfriend just tried to slide his hands down the back of my pants and was touching me and hugging me. See, she would have had the same question I did. Well, he was doing all that. Why didn't you leave then? You stayed there, so you must have liked it. That's what she's going to say. So the anger that would have normally just been directed at him, had you cut the shit short, is gonna be because she's aligned to him. It's gonna be directed at you, and it's gonna be your fault because you stayed there. See, so then that would be the natural thing. You kept staying there, so you must have liked it until he got to the point where he was like, getting ultra aggressive, and then you finally said something. That's the 99% of women. That's the way that they're gonna respond to that. But what you're supposed to do is do the preemptive strike. And second, you got in your car, is call and leave a message and tell her what happened. Tell her to keep her man the fuck away from you, all this kind of stuff. And then, because now you don't want the kind of story he's gonna spin when he about it. Is he gonna tell her it all? He's gonna put some spin where it's gonna be your fault. But like I said, you don't have to own up to the fact that you didn't do anything. You talk about, well, I get scared, I do this and that. I don't give a fuck what you a grown ass woman. You don't sit there and let some man paw all over you like that. When you got a car and you got working legs and you got a mouth, and if you didn't feel safe walking to your car, why don't you just go over to the bartender, the owner of the restaurant across the street, and say, do you have somebody, one of your staff members can walk me to my car? This guy that I'm with, even though I work with him, he's being really creepy and it's scaring me. He would have got somebody if he got a dishwasher. Come back, hey, walk across the street to her car right quick and then come back. And they would have done that. You didn't have to go out that door with him by yourself. You girls got to think more about how you handle yourself and the situations that you put yourself in. It's scary to me how naive you are. The second he said, let's go have a drink, you're supposed to say no. Okay, you don't go have drinks with someone else's man like that. Especially a guy you just met. Now, if you had been family friends with him before he met this girlfriend, and like your parents know him, your brothers know him, he's been, it's like 25 years, 30 years, 35 years of knowing this dude or something, and he said, let's have a drink. But that's different because it's like family. But even then, it's questionable. Why you got to do it so late? Why got to be now? But I could more see it than this situation where you just met this guy. You don't really know this guy. So this is the situation where I go. So anyway, your question is, do I tell them to uphold girl code like I want to and risk it blowing up and creating a toxic work environment, or do I stay silent and distance myself and feel guilty for not telling her? No, you're gonna tell her, because I'm telling you, he gonna put a spin on it to make it your fault. The more that you be quiet and hold this in and ponder it, you just building a case against yourself. You're supposed to do that right away so that you do the preemptive strike. You get to her before him. You have to do it that way, because he gonna, well, yeah, we were having a drink and the next thing I know she was all over me. And then what you gonna say? I mean, they probably have security cameras, but they're not gonna show it to you about this because no crime was committed. Whew, good Lord. Is it me, y'all? Do you guys listening to this see this situation the way I do, or do you see it differently? I'm anxious because you guys are being real quiet today. Usually it's everybody all chatty and stuff, but today everybody's pretty quiet. So I'm curious how you feel about the situation and what her, way of responding should have been. So if you type that in the chat, that'd be great. I want to see what you think. So let's move on here. Question number 16. This guy is 28 to 34 in the UK. The female is 22 to 27. I think she calls low key likes attention. Yeah, it's gonna look that way even if she doesn't. If she says she got that, somebody told me that it's called the deer or there's some term that this girl told me that it's called when women freeze like that and don't know what to do. And she was telling me that the scientific whatever psychological name for it. But I'm like, we can't afford to have that kind of response. If that's the way you respond to men violating your boundaries, get your ass on the shrink's couch and work that out quickly. And let's do something about it. So, not doing anything it definitely gives off that vibe because she didn't tell him to no and stop her, she didn't say anything. Okay, so his girlfriend's 22 to 27, he's 28 to 34, and they're in the UK. Some of the issue. My adult girlfriend throws temper tantrums and won't listen to how it's affecting our relationship, and I don't know what to do. How do you suggest I deal with her temper tantrum? I don't deal with temper tantrums. Why would you deal with temper tantrums of an adult? I didn't even deal with that when my daughter was 18 months to 2 months, 18 to 2, 18 months to 2 years old. I didn't deal with temper tantrums. So I'll be dealing with some bitch flinging herself around. That's not going to happen. I'm almost 30 and I've been going out with my girlfriend. She's 26 for a little over 2 years. She's a wonderful person, but throws deep temper tantrums regularly over small things, usually small amounts of money or easily replaceable things breaking. Today, she booked a flight to Scotland and got in the wrong date by a day. She booked this on the travel card, so refunds are tricky, and she would need to pay a 25-pound fee to correct the date. She flipped out, screaming at the top of her lungs and stomping on the ground and bawling her eyes out for about 10 minutes. Then she disappeared in a huff and won't talk to me. Apparently, this is also my fault as I, quote, distracted her. She booked this in another room as I was writing notes. Blaming me for things is a common theme in her tantrum. Somehow I've been blamed for weather events, canceling flights before, too. I tried to help in the past. I'm very solution focused when problems arise, but she inevitably refuses help and will just rage until she tires herself out and then accept help. This happens maybe once a week. Sometimes the severity of being worse than other times. It's becoming so draining. It's so hard to be supportive when I'm being yelled at for something completely out of your control. And I'm losing my empathy because the reasons for throwing a tantrum can be so trivial that when she's upset about something important, there seems to hardly be any difference in the way she acts. How do you help an adult who has a temper tantrum? You leave them alone. That's what you do. You've been dealing with this shit for 2 years. I wouldn't deal with it. By the time she did that shit the second, no, me the first time. Because I don't have that kind of patience. See some grown person flip the fuck out like that and run around stomping and stuff. My cousin does that sometimes. It makes me give her the side eye. Here's a woman in her 50s stomping around and screaming and flailing her hands around and stuff. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Her kids are evidently used to it. I'm not used to that shit. I don't want to look at that. So I couldn't imagine dating someone who acted like that. Nothing should make you that upset where you get all outside yourself like that over some bullshit. This just don't even make no sense to me. I don't understand that kind of mentality. So yeah, what you gonna do is you can't change her. That's who she is. So either you accept it, and as I said before several times so far, shut the fuck up and accept it, or you say, you know what, I can't deal with you and your bullshit. I'm out. Boop, and be gone. It's that simple. Number question 17. This is a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group. She's mixed race from Jacksonville, Florida. The male in question is 28 to 34, and he's African American. Some have issues. I don't know if my boyfriend is manipulating me or if he's just being toxic. If you have to guess, I'd say it's the latter. I'm not sure if he's manipulative or what, but I've been living with my boyfriend for 4 months now, and we've been together for a little over a year. Every time we get into an argument and he gets frustrated, he snatches my phone. What? Takes my car keys or deactivates my house key fob. He also threatens that he'll throw my stuff out the window or break my phone, or he'll tell me if I leave, there's no coming back, and I can't take my stuff until he's ready to give it to me because he wants to be heard. Wow. You still with him? Okay. I know this is not a healthy way to communicate, but how does this change? It doesn't. This is who he is. Again, another woman seeing the man for who he is, and you just want to talk about change and different. And how can I talk to him? How can I make him understand? How can I make him be different? It's not going to fucking happen. This is who he is. He's a fool, a control freak, and an abusive idiot. And you found that out in 4 months. What you gonna do? Previously, he was in a 5-year relationship and they hated each other. The relationship he has with me is different and healthy, but I wouldn't say it's perfect. It's not healthy if he's doing that kind of stuff. That's not healthy at all. No relationship is perfect. Look at you trying to justify the bullshit. I just don't understand him sometimes with the threat to tell me to leave, and when I actually do try to leave, he won't let me. Dad, this is my first relationship, and there's a lot of things I'm learning and struggling with. I don't know if I should go see therapy or we should go see couples therapy. No. You only been dealing with them and you're only dating. You don't spend money on shit like that for a date. For someone you dating, you just break up with them. I feel like it's too early for that. Overall, he's a really good man to me and I care for him a lot. I don't give a fuck. When he melts down like this, that's all bets are off on that kind of stuff. I'm very understanding and patient to a certain extent. Last night, he got frustrated and started an argument with me because he says I don't consider him mentally. Mentally, I stress him out and come to him with problems and negativity, and it feels like I put him down. Even though he couldn't give me any real examples, it's hard for me to understand where he's coming from. Then ignore that shit. Yeah, you can't tell me what I did, and you don't tell me at the time I did it. Then the statute of limitations is run on that shit, and I don't want to hear about it. That's what you're supposed to tell him. Shut that shit down. The only time I come to him with problems is when, number one, I feel like we need to talk about some issues that's going on between us, or something he did that made me uncomfortable, or number two, he's a provider and takes care of the house. I try to get updates on certain things, or I tell him that his shower drain needs to be fixed. It's been 3 months and it's still not fixed. He tends to forget things, and I try to remind him. Or number three, I would think that I would have a safe place to vent to my significant other once in a while, but I guess not. I never want to come off negative or nagging or complaining, but he's taking it that way, and I don't know what to do. I really didn't notice that I've been having a negative impact on him mentally. Who gives a fuck about his mental state? He also feels I purposely try to play mind games with him and try to get him upset and explode so I can play the victim and try to get him in trouble. I completely disagree with this because that's not even the type of person I am. I never want to hurt him. I don't find pleasure in being evil to someone, unlike me. It sounds crazy, and I don't know why he thinks this. He literally brought race into this, and since I'm mixed race, he told me this is what white women do. To be honest, wow, he said it to your face? To be honest, I told him that he's completely wrong for thinking or even saying that, and it's crazy. It's like mind-blowing. I was never raised like that, and I've been in any environment like that. My mom was always a great woman and wife, so I don't know where he could have gotten this idea, but it makes me very uncomfortable. Pack your shit and go back to your parents' house like tomorrow. Okay? Leave his house key fob, anything connected with him there. Head to the post office, file your change of address card, put your shit back to your mama's house, and then any utilities or anything that's in your name, don't sound like anything, but whatever it is, change your address on your cell phone bill, do everything you need to do to cut ties with this fool. You say it's your first relationship. It's unfortunate that this is a silly and abusive one. You may not see this, but this is emotional and mental abuse that you're in. He's not punching you, but he's beating you up mentally and emotionally with guilt tripping, blame shifting, typical narcissist tactics to get the upper hand and make you feel bad about yourself, break your self-esteem, break you down. That's what he's doing. And there's all kind of videos on his channel about that. So go to the top of the channel and type in, I don't know, like self-esteem, vetting men, what's in it for me. That's a good series, to ask yourself about a relationship, to properly assess whether a man is being decent for you. The Queen's Guide to Handling Men Like a Boss. You need to listen to that one. So there's like a lot of videos on the channel. There's like 1,500-1,600 videos on the channel. You're not going to see all of them if you just scroll. You have to search through the key because some of them are, say 8, 9, 10 years old. But you do the search like that. You're entering the keywords that you want under the search this channel bar, and then they'll all pop up from, like a decade ago. But you're not going to just see them if you just scroll. You're only going to see, I think, the most recent 30 or 50 or something like that. YouTube limits it. So that's not all the videos that are on this channel. This channel has been around for a long, long time. Not the most prolific like I used to be, but I'm still putting out good content. Let's move on. Question number 18 is a female in the 28 to 34 age group. She's Caucasian. From Calgary, Alberta, Canada. The male's 20 to 34. So I have issue. The guy I'm dating complained that he pays for every date. Is this a red flag? We've been dating for a few weeks and have been on about 5 or 6 dates. We are not boyfriend or girlfriend officially, but he has asked me to be exclusive. So he wants to nail down the coochie without having any responsibility. Fuck you, nigga. However, last night he threw a small party and invited a few friends to stay the night at his parents' place while they were gone. While we went to bed, I asked for a towel while he was laying in the bed, and he said I should just go find one because he's too tired to get one. I told him I couldn't find one, and he got annoyed, argued for him to help me, and proceeded to tell me out of the blue that he's annoyed that he pays for everything. Just so you know, Deb, I have offered to pay before, but he immediately says no, it's on him. He always plans the dates that are in his area, offers to pay and buy things, and pulls out his card immediately before I even have a chance to ask. He also lives an hour away, and I have to drive to him every time. Okay, so an hour. So that's, let's just say that's 50, 60 miles from you. Okay. He never has to offer to drive to me or do anything in my area. I've also never asked him for money or to buy anything since I have a good job as a nurse and he works in sales. Is this all a red flag? Help me, please. Yes, what you're supposed to do when he's having a sleepover with all these people at his parents' house at his parents' house, and then he don't even want to be the common host, courteous host that can get you a towel to wash your face and ass before you get into bed, then that in that way he talked to you, you are supposed to go get your stuff, get your purse, and get your keys and get in your car and drive that hour back to your house. That's what you're supposed to do. Why would you stay there and reward him with the warmth of your body and your companionship when he talked to you like you have paws and a tail? Why would you do that? If you had to go through the McDonald's drive-thru and get some coffee to stay awake for that hour because you were so tired, that's what your ass should have done. First, when you do let a man talk to you like that, and then you stay there and you reward him with look or laughs and hugs and whatever else you gave him that night, you're basically teaching him that it's okay to talk to you like that and treat you that way. Because you do negative shit, you're supposed to get a punishment for that. He did negative shit and he got a reward. He got some look and hugs and kisses. You see how this works? Don't become a mother until you get this straight, you girls who don't understand this. Yeah, that's too much work just for some tired ding-a-ling. And then he don't even do shit. The one dude I dated who lived an hour from me, he wanted me to come to him every weekend. And guess what I said? Well, you need to fill up my tank. And so he would fill up my tank when I got there, and he would get my car detailed every week. Paid the 30, it was about $30 at that time. My car, get my rims done, and they go and shine up the interior and stuff, vacuum everything, polish all the shit, and it would look cute. My car would be cute for a whole week with a full tank of gas that I did not have to buy. Plus, he paid for everything else too. So I'm not driving down there to be using my gas to see you, clown. Please, I'll stay local. That's when I lived in San Francisco, and he lived in Palo Alto. I'm like, you tripping. So this is, you have to teach people what your boundaries are, because if he's used to dealing with women that have no self-esteem and no boundaries, he's of course going to treat you that way because that's what he's used to. So you have to be different. You have to stand up for yourself and you have to say, no, you're not going to talk to me like that. You're not going to treat me like that either. Okay, that has to come from you. It didn't. Let's move on. Question 19 of 25. Whew, these questions are long tonight. I'm tired. Female, 28 to 34 from Indianapolis, Indiana. Summer issue. I feel paralyzed by the mess after my boyfriend has used the kitchen. Oh, there's both 28 to 34. Okay. I'm 31. I've been living with my 33-year-old boyfriend for a bit over a year now. For the most part, it's great. And I would say that moving in together has been an overall positive experience. However, it appears that we have some differences when it comes to tidiness and cleanliness. I want to clarify that neither one of us are the extreme side of this. He is not in any way a super dirty person or a hoarder, whereas I'm not the most extremely clean person myself. Okay, I don't care about it. I want to talk about what the issue is. When I cook, I put the trash in the trash in the trash. If I spill something, I wipe it up quickly. If I cut ingredients, I make sure they stay on the cutting board and go from there into the pot, etc. You get it. When I'm done cooking, there's not much to clean up after except for reduce dishes and a quick wipe of the counter. However, when my boyfriend cooks, that is not the case. He leaves packaging or pieces of packaging on the counter, in the sink, on the floor. Everything that he spills just stays there. The ingredients go to places where I legitimately don't understand how they even got there. He has a very hasty way of moving, like he would stir something with full force. Then, of course, it spills over the pan into the stove. Dishes don't go in the dishwasher after use, and just pile up around him. He gets his hands greasy and dirty and touches the cabinets without washing them, so the cabinet handles are smudgy and gross and full of bacteria, especially if he's handling meat. Now, all of that would be okay to deal with if he just cleaned up a bit after himself after he's done. But he doesn't, because to him, these things aren't a problem. He will clean eventually, but it might take 2 or 3 days. My problem is I just cannot function in this environment. I don't have OCD or anything like that. And again, I'm not perfect, but his level of uncleanness is way outside my comfort zone. Whenever I want to use a kitchen, it looks like that, I need to first make space for myself to do what I want to do. So basically, I have to clean the kitchen if I want to use it. Sometimes I find myself paralyzed by the outlook of cleaning it, so that I can clean up after myself and watch him get it dirty all over again without cleaning. This is turning into a bad spiral. He cooks, he doesn't clean, kitchen's dirty, I feel paralyzed, so he cooks again, so on. Now, in this situation, he does a lot more cooking and kitchen chores than I do, but it's not because I don't want to. I love cooking, I don't mind a normal amount of cleanup, but the kitchen constantly being dirty just ruins it for me. I tried to bring this up to him, but he just said that he's already doing more kitchen chores than I am and that I shouldn't complain. He doesn't seem to understand I want to do more, but that I need a reasonable level of tidiness and cleanliness in order to do so. And because the counter is being full of stuff, utensils, and dirt is okay for him, he doesn't get what I'm talking about when I ask him to be cleaner and tidier. I don't know how to communicate this to him more effectively. Go to the pet store and get a rat. Let the rat loose in the kitchen. Let him come in there and see that rat munching on some shit that he left them dirty dishes and stuff around there. That'll cure him right quick. But you got to be able to tolerate the rat. Would I be able to do that? Absolutely. I hate rats, but you know what? It's more important to me that I teach his ass a fucking lesson. That's what I would do. You can get exterminated, like if the rat goes crazy and bring some friends, get exterminated and wipe them all out. It's no big deal. But he needs to see the repercussions of his behavior. And there's nothing like coming into your kitchen, turning on that light, and seeing Ben on the counter, looking at you, holding some food that you left out, and just munching out and looking at you like, what you doing here? You ain't getting my snack. You shouldn't have left this for me. That's what he needs. He needs something like that. That's what he needs. Yeah, you have to think about it if you could tolerate that or not. That would be my suggestion. I know that people are like, you crazy, you come with some wild stuff. But this is the kind of dude, he's not going to pay no attention to you until he has proof that what he's doing is gross and disgusting and brings vermin into the house. That's what I would do. Me a pet rat from the PetSmart. Let that sucker loose in that kitchen and then go upstairs and go to bed. And then elbow him. Wait, I heard something. I heard something in the kitchen moving around. Didn't you hear something? And he's going to be like, no, I didn't hear anything. Like, I heard something. You better go downstairs and see what's going on. He's going to go downstairs. He's going to hear squeak, 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 squeak. He's going to be, oh my God, there's a rat in the house. And you be like, oh, really? Oh my God, I guess all that stuff that you left on the counter and on the floor and in the sink is just a little bit too much snack food for them. It's just too much attraction. And he's going to be like, yeah. That's what I would do. You wasted your time talking to him. See, I'm telling you, women, men don't understand all the words. They don't be trying to hear all the words. Y'all just want to talk and talk and talk at them. You don't do that. You say it once, and then they start ignoring it. You figure out what you're going to do to make him have what they call it, audio-visual aids. That's what men need. Then it's like, oh, the light comes the fuck on, and they understand all crystal clear what you're talking about now. Yeah, you let Ben sit up there on that counter. That's what we need. A Willard. Willard and Ben be on the counter together. Question number 20. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's Caucasian from Seattle, Washington. The male is 28 to 34, and he's Asian. Some have issues, silent treatments, and accusations. My boyfriend and I have been together for about 4 years now. He constantly accuses me of looking at other men when in fact I don't. We went to the mall the other day and sat in a restaurant. He was sitting in a spot where a lot of other people were behind him. Naturally, as I was talking to him, I was looking look him in the eyes and sometimes look around to think of what I'm saying, but never at men specifically. After we got back home, he started talking about it and escalated from there. Eventually, a lot of disrespect took place, and now the silent treatment has commenced. I have called, texted, and given in to his demands, but he continues to ignore me, and I don't know if he broke up with me or not. I feel stuck in a rabbit hole with the same issues, accusations, and silent treatment. I don't know what to do anymore, and I'm severely exhausted by it all. I really need some advice on how to better handle this situation. How can I better handle the situation? You don't better handle the situation. You break up with the fool. What is wrong with you women? Each and every one of you tonight acts like these motherfuckers is the last man on the planet. It's your last hope for salvation or some shit. Like he's like Jesus Christ or something. You tell him to take his blame shifting silly ass on somewhere and you're done here. You tell him don't call me anymore. You're not stuck in a rabbit hole. You're stuck your damn self. That's free marriage, honey. I don't know about all that, but I'll definitely come. I'll get up there and make a speech at your reception. I will definitely do that. But yeah, this is just these girls. I just don't even understand what they be thinking. Question 21. This is a female, 22 to 27. She's from Oakland, a homegirl, African American. Third issue. He keeps blowing me off and snubbing on me. I had a fling with a coworker. Oh, mistake number one. And I had been trying to rekindle things, but I was unsuccessful when he didn't respond to my text suggesting that we meet. So I got the impression he just wanted to keep our interactions at work. Then I had to message him after work for work-related reasons, and I wanted him to confirm if he had passed a message to a coworker that I had asked him to. Okay, in this era of voicemail and walk to desk and emails, why would you need to ask him to do anything? You think I'm not going to catch that? You think I'm stupid? Think again. All right, you on some bullshit. But someone responded, asked me who I was, to which I identified myself, and they said they didn't know who I was, and I got the wrong number. I was confused, so I asked him about it at work, and he told me that he changed phones, and all his contacts were deleted, and he got hacked after. I didn't really believe him, so I let it drop. Man, he come up with some shit, don't they? Just some all kind of wild stuff. I tried to strike up conversations, but I got the energy that he wants me to keep me at arm's length. He doesn't seem engaging unless there's something to do with work or silly joking remarks here and there. Some time ago, I waved it goodbye to him when I saw him outside on my way home after work, but he didn't wave back and pretended not to notice me. Last time I went towards him to say something, as soon as he saw me coming towards him, he was like, I don't care, but I ignored it and addressed what I had to say. I don't know why he's behaving like this towards me when he seems comfortable around other coworkers. He had no problem talking to me before we got together. There was a part of me that still had hope, but he keeps pushing me away. Should I just quit talking to him at work unless it's about work? Yes, and you should limit that. Send him an email. He don't want to talk to you. And the way that you keep coming after him, making up excuses to talk to him and be around him and shit is like a fucking stalker. Have some pride about yourself. The man don't want you. You fucked a couple of times, whatever your fling consisted of, and then he don't want no more of it. Okay, it's done. It's a wrap for him. So what you need to do is get a clue, read the room, and leave that man alone before he goes to HR on your ass. Okay, because that's the next step. Leave him alone. Okay, he's made it quite clear he don't want nothing to do with you. You're aware of that, but you keep pressing him anyway. He's not waving hi to you. Nobody said they have to wave hi to you. You're not on his work team or something where y'all have to interact. You seeking him out to solve a bunch of drama. Exactly. Oh, these people just. Ugh. Question number 22. Female, 22 to 27, city of Westminster in England. Male, also 22 to 27. Third issue. My current boyfriend is upset about me grieving the death of my ex. What do I do? My ex-boyfriend, Robbie, passed away in a hospital 5 days ago as a result of injury sustained in a car accident. He was only 22. I knew him since I was 13. We went to the same school and grew up together. We dated for over a year between the age of 18 and 19. It still feels very strange to talk of him in the past tense. He was my first love and first everything. We broke up amicably when we realized long distance at university wasn't going to work. It was taking a toll on both of us. We remained on good terms with one another, though, and we didn't speak nearly so much after breaking up. Last year, I began a relationship with my current boyfriend, Sean. I love Sean, and he has always been communicative, emotional, and empathetic, which is part of the reason I love him so much. He's my emotional support animal. No, I threw the animal in there. She said emotional support. The recent news has hit me hard, not only because it's such a shock, but because I regret not keeping in touch with Robbie more. He was a quite lonely person. I felt as though we should have stayed closer because I was his best friend and main support when we were dating. I can't bear the idea of him not having a best friend there for him when he died. You don't know what he had because you said you hadn't really been in touch with him. You don't know what he had. Could have had 10 girlfriends and 2 best friends. You don't know none of it. Here you go making it about you. Needless to say, I have not been myself these past few days. Have been grieving his death. I spent the whole night crying when I first found out. Sean was comforting at first, but over the last couple of days, he became reserved and moody, which is not like him at all. For example, he turned away from me in bed when I asked him to hold me, and his general manner has been very cold. I asked him what was wrong, and he told me that he was surprised I noticed anything was wrong since I'm so busy grieving another man. I was shocked and told him I'm not grieving the relationship, but a friend who I've known for years. He told me it was disloyal to grieve so openly over an ex, and if I truly were over my previous relationship, I wouldn't be grieving. He then essentially implied that I must have been having some sort of emotional or physical affair with Robbie, or at least at the very least I was still in love with him. I told Sean I didn't have to be in love with Robbie to still have love for him and care for me as a friend. I have the right to grieve his death, and I have a right to my emotions. He seemed to find this to be further confirmation that I was not over Robbie and told me that if our relationship was enough, then I wouldn't be grieving. Wow, he's making it about him now. I am stunned by his stance on this. On the one hand, I can understand not being nice to watch your girlfriend mourn an ex-romantic partner, but I can't believe he's questioning our relationship or my loyalty because of it. What do I do? Am I out of line, Deb? Is he out of line? This ordeal has really shaken my view of him. Just to clarify, my grieving has me being quieter and less talkative than usual, not wanting me to go out and eat much for entertainment and not really wanting to watch violent TV because I want to think of or see reminders of how my friend died in pain. I keep my thoughts to myself, and I haven't asked Sean for much other than to hold me at night a couple of times because I felt cold and alone. I've been trying to get on with life as usual. You just a fucking drama queen. And so is your raggedy ass boyfriend. Y'all deserve each other. Okay. I've had exes where, we were the 2 or 3 that we didn't split where I wanted them to be eating my jaws or, aliens to come snatch them up. And, like friends with their family, you have their brothers and sisters and their mother and stuff. And if I got word that they died and the family told me and invited me to the funeral, I would go. And I probably would feel sad because, just because we didn't make it didn't mean that wasn't still a good person. It just wasn't right for me. The other day, and these guys didn't do anything, hurtful or anything. We just, it just didn't work out. Whereas the other ones I want to run over with my car and stuff like that, those motherfuckers deserve to die. There was a difference. So I could see, and plus, they were 13 when they're kids. So why he's flipping out like this is weird. He's just making it all about him. Now, what she should do, does she live with dude? That's the part that I was wondering as I was reading. See, it's not clear, because usually they say how long they've been in a relationship and, that they're living together. It's not really clear here if they are living together or if she's just at his house or he's at hers. It's not clear. So in a situation like that, just take some time apart from his ass. Let him go be over there somewhere while you get your tears out. Or go to your mama's house and cry or something. You don't have to do it up under which one is it? Sean. Robbie's the one that died. Okay. So you have to do it up under Sean. You can just go do it somewhere else. And then come on back and be, clear. Go to the funeral and everything. I don't see where she's embarrassing herself. I think that, she has emotions of it. Now, the thing that I'm not feeling, though, is how, this thing about, he died. She's making this whole extra story so she can feel all extra sad about some shit she don't really know. So that's the part I'm like rolling my eyes about. But the fact that she's somebody she's known since she was 13 years old, he was only 22, and now he's not here anymore, that is tragic. His life was just starting out, and it's already over. I feel sad for the dude that I'm just, Oh, that one. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, thank you for clarifying. I feel sad, and just think about his mother. As a mom, I'm thinking about, you losing your baby. Your baby's only 22 years old. That's rude. That's harsh. So yeah, I could have some feelings that way. I could see how she feels that way. Yeah, that would be tough. Question number 23. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Montreal, Canada. Male also 22 to 27. Summary of issue. My boyfriend feels that he is justified that there's a lack of conversation and communication as he has a busy social life. I want more conversations as we sometimes don't talk for weeks. Okay, then you don't really have a boyfriend. I respect that it feels he is too uninterested in me and I'm not sure if I'm happy to continue the relationship. Is ending the relationship unreasonable or do I want to drop it? Okay, you summed up the whole letter in uh in your summary. So I mean, I really it's just repeating the same thing in the letter. Let me skip to the end. I would like to talk to him more. I don't just want to exclusively watch TV with him when he comes over for a weekend. I want to know about his day and his week and his hobbies. And I want someone to care about my life and ask me about it too. We have shared interests. It would be nice to talk about that too. It feels like maybe he's over the relationship. I'm not really able to call him during the week. He says he's too exhausted when he sees me. He's very busy, and I worry he's too busy for a relationship. But again, he says things are fine as they are. When I do see him on the weekend, I'm talking mid-conversation, he'll stop me and say something like, can we play the next episode? We've been talking for since blank. I don't get to see him all week and sometimes even for multiple weeks, and he doesn't want to call during that time either. Okay, okay, she's on the phone. Expressed all his phone on the phone. He said his social life is more intense than mine. I call my friends when I need to talk. I visit my mom. I go to gigs when I can. It's hard to get out there sometimes because I have chronic pain, but I have people to talk to outside of him. I just feel like I can have conversation with anyone but him. The relationship feels empty. What would you do, Deb? Deb would realize from reading just what I've read here, you think you have a relationship. You think this is a boyfriend. You have a booty call friend with benefit situation here. Nobody's your boyfriend that don't talk to you for weeks at a time. Read the goddamn room. Okay? You done wasted all this emotion over a man that blows you off and who don't talk to you for weeks at a time, don't want you to talk and don't want to hear nothing. He just come over to get some booty. And then you try to figure out, why this relationship is unfulfilling and feels empty because it's not a relationship. You just don't fucking get it. Okay, so let me enlighten you. This is not a relationship. This is a friend with benefits situation. Boyfriends don't be like this. They want to be all up under you and looking at you every second of the week because they just can't get enough of you. This is not your boyfriend. You want to call him that, but he be dodging you. He don't want to talk to you. He's not trying to see you. And you don't understand what that means. I done told you, silly girls, men speak with actions. How a man treats you is going to tell you everything that you need to know about how he feels about you. You don't need the words. You don't need to hear the words, okay? You just look at what he's doing and how he's treating you. Where are you to see where you are in the pecking order of his life? Your ass is at the bottom. And you just not getting it. You wasted all this time and all them words to write that 3-page advice letter to ask about a man that ain't even interested in you. If you told him, look, I'm not going to do this anymore, he'd be like, okay, and then you would never hear from him again. Have the courage to do that, okay? Have some self-esteem. Question 24. This is a male in the 22 to 27 age group from Arlington, Texas. Summary of issue. My wife of 4 months after dating for 3 years does not like me spending time with my lifelong friend. He and I are both 27 and been friends as long as we can remember and used to meet every single day for a couple of hours to exercise, play games, have a beer, etc. This continued while my wife and I dated. However, there was a scheduling conflict. I would prefer my plans with my now wife, i.e. if we had plans for an entire day or a date, I'd go late, I'd text my bud that we couldn't meet, but we still met an average of 5 times a week. After I got married, I moved in with her to her town. We were a few hours apart before. She used to meet her friends 2 to 5 times a week, but for the first couple of months of marriage, she did not. And likewise, I barely called my old friend, only when she had work. She has fluctuating hours, did me and my friend did not. I really started to miss my friend, though. In our 3rd month of marriage, I shared that with my wife and asked to plan a time to call and play an online game with him. You asked. Okay. She said it was fine. At first, it was fine. It was immensely refreshing to get to talk to someone familiar besides my wife regularly. I began to look forward to time with my wife and my friend much more. However, after calling my friend 4 times in 1 week, she broke down crying when I ended the call and went back to her one night. She complained that I was having more fun with him than I do with her. I tried to explain that it's different sort of fun, but she wouldn't hear because I laughed louder and talked faster with him. That was true, but I also only have a 1 to 2 hour window to talk to him. I usually spend 5+ hours with her one-on-one every day, so the information is not as condensed. We didn't really resolve the problem. I tried to plead for us to have friends besides each other, and she tried to rationalize that spending time with friends more than once a week. We've had ups and downs over this for the past month, but tonight was the worst. We spent the day together, and I made plans for a date day tomorrow together. After we showered, she put on a TV show. I asked if I could call my friend from 9 to 11, and she said, yeah. But around 10, she texted me, asked me to see her. So I wrapped up with my friend and left the room I was in and found her sobbing uncontrollably on our bed. I feared a death in the family or something, but after about 10 minutes of trying to console her, she finally squeaked out that she didn't get married to spend nights alone. She then said hurtful things through her tears, mostly telling me to go away and go spend time with my friend because I like him more than her, for pushing me out of the room, locking the door, and crying herself to sleep. Wow. What is a healthy amount of time for a husband and wife to set aside for friends? Should I be concerned that my wife does not make plans with anyone besides me anymore? If so, how do I start this conversation more successfully, and what should our goals be? Any advice on balancing marriage and friendship would be greatly appreciated. I want to be able to love my wife without sacrificing my friendship with a guy who's closer to me than my biological brother. Yeah, you've been friends with him since like diapers and shit. She ought to understand that. I guess your mistake when you first got with her was to say that this is see, I'm closer to him than I am my own biological brother that my parents made, and this we're a package deal. So where I go, he goes, and vice versa. So she would have known what time it was, and she could have, bought into that or not. With me, my husband had so many friends, it was just, it was just phone was constantly ringing. He's constantly going somewhere. They constantly calling him, laughing, and yucking up on the phone. You think I gave a shit? Right. Giggles, that's exactly it. Because I had so much stuff going on in my life, it's like I was happy he was occupied somewhere that he wouldn't be bothering me. Because, they bother you. They want to, like, you pay attention to them and talk to them and have nook and stuff. And sometimes you just don't feel like you just want to do your own stuff, your own thing. I mean, I don't want to hear what you're talking about. I want you to go talk over that with your guy friends. I don't really care about your sports and your other. I don't want to hear that. I don't care about those things. You go talk about that with them. And so I was happy that he had, friends that he found engaging that brought joy into his life. So he'd go spend time with him. When he came back, he'd be a happier person, and I would enjoy his company better because he would come in the door happy, and I didn't have to do anything to make him that way. Other people did the work. So it all depends on how you look at it. It sounds like, dude, your wife is extremely immature and insecure. And I don't think if this continues, your marriage is not going to make it. Should you give up your friend for your wife? Absolutely not. Don't ever do that. I'm going to tell you why. Marriages come and go. A friendship like what you have is like, it's once in a lifetime. This is the kind of stuff like you guys could be old men together in the nursing home. You know what I mean? That's your buddy. That's like your dog for life kind of thing. It's just so hard to find that kind of person. You could find 15 wives. You're not gonna never find another friend like that. So you think about this. Yeah, she being over fucking dramatic. No, that just means from 9 to 11. And you don't know if they moved to another town. Maybe they're in a different time zone. You got to, that wasn't really explained, but that's where my mind went to it. If somebody's in a different time zone, what time it is for you versus what time it is for them, it's going to be different. Because all my friends on the East Coast, they be calling me at 11, 12 o'clock at night. Well, it's only 8 or 9 o'clock here. You see what I mean? So it's going to seem like it's late, but it's not here. So we don't know that part, so just give that some grace. Let's not assume things. But I'm just knowing from experience, having had run into a similar situation with a guy. He was jealous of a friend I had, my flight attendant friend that I used to go all over the country with. He was so jealous. Oh my God, he just could not stand it. And he's like, well, she shouldn't be doing this. And I'm like, yeah, but see, I was friends with her way before I met you. And something tells me I will still be friends with her after your ass is gone. And I was right. I was so right. It was not even funny. But yeah, I was like prophetic. And he just could not stand it because when I would go with her, I would be happy. I'd have fun. We'd laugh. We do all these girl things. We go try new restaurants. We go shopping. We just do stuff that I didn't really enjoy doing with him because he's not a woman. And it's the same thing with you with your guy friend because your wife's not a man. No women want to sit around playing video games for hours and shit. Men like that bullshit. I'm not doing that. And I don't want to watch you do it either. They want you to sit there and watch and play. No, I'm not doing that. It's wasting my time. All right, so yeah, my thing is, put up some boundaries. Tell her she needs to reestablish her friendships with her friends because you're definitely going to keep yours with yours. And then if that's a problem for her and she feels that that's a threat to the marriage, to that level for her, then maybe she should investigate a separation and just put it on her like that. Let her know that you ain't afraid of what she's talking about. If she can cry as much as she wants to, it's not going to change anything. This is time for you, dude. I know you're a newlywed and you thinking you got to be all nice to her and shit, but you better put your testosterone on high levels on high and take control of this shit now. Don't let no woman be running you like that. I don't care how much you love her. You deserve to have joy and friendships in your life and do things with other people that make you happy. You do not have to be stuck up under her like a Siamese twin, and that's the only person you get to associate with. That's very controlling behavior. And you need to tell her that. She's trying to control you and say that's not going to happen. I'll leave this goddamn marriage before I let you control me. We still new at this shit, and it ain't nothing but a thing to deuce out. That's what I would tell her. She's doing the most. She's being all kind of extra. Question number 25, our final question of the day. This young lady is 18 to 21 from Downey, California. The male's 18 to 21 as well. Same issue. How do I reject a guy who got insanely clingy after just one date? They are very manipulative and pushing him out the door and being all dramatic and shit. She's controlling. So I went on a date with this guy yesterday. Today is Sunday. And from start to finish, it was one big mess of red flags and icks. Also, I thought he was 19, but he's actually 21. So so you must be what, 18? Did you say? Hold on a second. I don't have exact, unless somebody puts it, I just have age groups. I don't have. She must be 18 because he's 21. This guy is insanely clingy after meeting literally one time. For example, I gave the date a clear ending point by saying I have to go to the gym that evening, to which he enthusiastically insisted that he would join. I ended up saying in that moment, no, a simple no, I like to go by myself. He then started trying to force himself into my gym plans the following morning. Then he showed up at my workplace today. Wait, what? How do you know where you work? Which made me insanely uncomfortable, being so disrespectful as to vape inside of the small independent store and demanding to be able to use my staff discount. The worst part is that after we parted ways last night, I never even sent a single follow-up message. So he did all this and I hadn't even texted him in the less than 24-hour period. How do I reject this man? Please help me. I've never had to reject someone before. Well, this is an easy one because he just did too much. So you make it all his fault. Sometimes we try to do and say, it's not you, it's me. Oh, no, in this case, it's not me, it's you. So what you're going to do is you're going to text him and say, I'm not going to see you anymore due to the fact that you did this, and this here. Like, you came to my workplace and you vaped in there. Do you know what kind of trouble I got into? You could cost me my job. I can't deal with this kind of situation. I need my job. So please, we're not going to deal with each other anymore. That was a real boundary violation for me. Okay, then you just block him. Yeah, but I'm trying to figure out how he knew where she worked. See? How did he know that? What? That must mean you told him that, right? You opened your big mouth and you told him that. How many times have I told y'all when you go on these dates, y'all be meeting these dudes on these swipey things, you don't need to give them specifics about where you live, where you go to school, who you know, or where you work. Okay, those 4 things. They don't need to know that. I say, well, where do you work? Oh, I just, work in the such and such a field. Oh, I just have a little raggedy part-time job. It's no big deal. You're still in school. Where do you go to school? Oh, around. You don't need to really know that. Why would you feel like you need to know that? I'm not comfortable telling people that kind of information unless you have it on your social media, which a lot of you do with location. You selfie in there. Oh, this is my school. I'm in class at such and such a university. You just be putting all your business on the internet. Then wonder why so many young girls be disappearing. You just be telling folks where you are, putting your locations on everything, and so everybody can see a pattern of where you are and what time you're there. And then they say, "Oh, look, she's cute. Let's snatch her up." And then they already know where your social media, where you're gonna be at what time, and then you're gonna be by yourself, and they're gonna just roll up, and that's the last time anybody gonna see you. Turn your locations and shit off. Stop putting selfies of yourself in every single thing that you do. Don't be identifying all your friends and all the locations that you go to. Nobody needs to know all that information about you. Y'all just be living your life way too free. And it's all these freaks in the world. You need to be wiser about what you do and what information that you share with people. These parents don't be telling their kids nothing. Girls is out here just living like just free, just like way too free, considering the state of the world and the society that we live in these days. Instead, you should be teaching your girls to be extremely cautious. They should be like erring on the side of being almost paranoid. It's going to keep them alive versus the ones who just leave like breadcrumbs to where they are and just make it easy for people to stalk them and find them and all this kind of stuff. Okay? You guys need to think more. If I put all this information online, who's going to get it and what they're going to do with it? Think of it like that. And then you'll see things from a different perspective. If this information gets into the wrong hands, what's that going to do to me, my family? And then start living your life a little different. Okay, everybody don't need to know all this stuff about you like that. Keep your mouth closed. But yeah, this dude, you went on one day and he know where you work. That should have never happened like that. You made a gross error in judgment on that one. So anyway, yeah, this was a rough show. But I'm gonna try to get back into doing them. Like I said, I wanted to do Wednesday, but I went down. It was so hot, and I lost all that sleep last week with them 100-degree days. Couldn't sleep for shit. So the temperature finally broke, and I collapsed, and that was the end of me. I slept, and I got up like 6 hours later, all refreshed and shit, but missed the show. So I will see you guys really, really soon. Hit that subscription button and be sure to hit the instant notification so you get like Giggles et al. You'll get a notification that says, "Oh, Deb's online. Let me go over there." Click and you come onto the show because you just never know. That's your answer. That's a good one. Since you just never know when I'm going to be here. Okay, so do that, and I'll see you guys real soon. Bye.